on vacation. But we do have a fill-in today. This should be interesting. We'll get to know him. His name is Sergeant Nick Perez.
Hello.
He's British, if you hadn't guessed.
Wow. Didn't know.
Hello.
Hello, loves.
Perez didn't really...
No.
Yeah.
Well, his family emigrated years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At least 3.
Yeah. Nick is our promotions director, and he's going to do some radio today. See what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he
And
does a shift on the weekends.
On the
that's
weekends,
right.
yeah.
One or
Yeah.
two?
Yeah, like 2. Yeah, depending. Yeah.
And he comes from a radio background, but we'll
Yes.
get into all of that later.
Yeah.
So I was listening to that song and enjoying it.
Was that nice?
And I thought I'd like to read the lyrics to that song and just kind of just refresh myself.
So you pulled him up?
Well, I put in "I Got You," and what comes up? The lyrics to "I Got You" by BB Rexa,
Oh, well, there you go.
which is an entirely different thing. I guess BB Rexa is a thing somewhere
Yes.
in some world that I don't inhabit, nor care to.
Nope.
So there were a lot of people's birthday today. I was hoping for maybe a little hearing father figure. Or I Want Your Sex.
Is it George Michael's birthday
It
today?
is George Michael's birthday.
I don't have that on my list.
It is. It's we could Wake Me Up Before You Go even.
Oh,
And there's some Wham
if Gina
song.
was here, she would have told me, and
She
I would
would've,
have done that.
There's some Wham song that I really like, and I can't think of the name of it.
Careless Whisper.
No, it's a pretty obscure one. I'll look it up later. So it's his birthday. It's Carly Simon's birthday today. She wrote that jingle for the ketchup,
Oh.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
That's her claim to fame.
Is this your Wham song?
No. I like this one though.
I'm your man,
Yeah.
baby.
I do like that song. I like most Wham songs actually. You weren't supposed to like them, but I liked them. I think this is it. What is this called?
This is called Everything She Wants.
I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Poor Andrew Ridgely. Whatever happened to him?
Is he still around?
Yeah, I think he's still alive. He's beating out George Michael in that case.
I outlived him. I got that.
These were great little songs.
Yeah.
Nicely produced.
How about
and-
this one here?
Now I'm watching a BB Rexa video while this is going on, and she's way more attractive than George Michael or Andrew Ridgely.
No, they were both pretty.
Yeah, but she's very pretty. I don't really care for her music. I don't think, but there she is, mostly undressed. It's Harold Melvin's birthday today.
Yeah.
Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Blue Notes.
Ian McDonald, who was in Foreigner and King Crimson, and I've come to find out that there are people. That almost everybody's been in King Crimson at one time.
At some
or another,
point.
it seems like. Let's see, some guy from Nickelback and some guy from Blue Oyster Cult. No, because you played that I Got You because...
On this day, Tim Finn, singer, guitarist for Split Enz, and then later Crowded House.
And then he had a band after that I saw, which I have no idea what they did, but it was called Puberty Blues.
Puberty Blues?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sounds bad.
I was going to play Crowded House, but everybody,
Yeah.
you know.
It was a great band.
This was a really tight band. I mean, they were really good.
We saw them in New York.
We saw one of their debuts in New York. It was a record label. We were out there, and record label called us up and said, "We got this new act. You heard of Split Enz? Well, it's this guy and that guy from this band and this guy from that band."
It's the Finn brothers, Tim and the other Finn.
Tim Finn.
And we went to the Bottom Line in New York to see them perform for the first time in, I want to say, in America.
Yeah, it was great.
What about Eddie Floyd? It was his birthday today, too.
Oh, really? I missed that one.
You know this song,
Yep.
but you didn't know Eddie had it first. Eddie
there was a
Floyd.
big disco hit, Anita Bell, or somebody
somebody.
like that, or Ring My Bell, Anita somebody.
You're thinking of Ring My Bell, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a big disco hit later on. Eddie Floyd.
You got me going down that hole now.
I like those. I like those records like that. Eddie Floyd. It sounds like they're made in a garage.
Yes.
You know,
I love that sound.
It's just a great sound. I
Yeah.
love it. And it's they used to call those race records,
Oh,
and the white radio stations wouldn't play them.
really?
Yeah.
That's why we didn't hear them here.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Wow.
I didn't, really discover soul and blues music until I got older, and I had to research it.
Wow.
Mostly you didn't hear them here.
Yeah.
I was sick of the Beach Boys by the time I was 7, I think. This was the big disco version.
Well, who did it?
Amy Stewart.
Amy Stewart. That's.
Probably like the only thing that she had, right?
I think so.
She took Eddie Floyd's song and made it into a disco song.
It's good.
It works, though.
I don't wanna lose you. It's good, that I got it. 'Cause if I do,
I'm watching a video now of Ariana Grande while that's going on. It just went into that.
Yeah.
It just clicked over.
Yeah.
All right.
That is the empty hole of YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't care for it much.
Parents are all concerned about what's on their TV sets. They
Nope.
really should be
Yeah.
monitoring their kids' YouTube consumption.
There's a lot of really awful stuff on there. Mm-hmm. And there's just some very entertaining. It's nice for YouTube. You can say, oh, no, really, there's an old Flintstones commercial with Barney and Fred
Yep.
smoking Winston cigarettes. You can find it on YouTube. That's nice to be able to do.
Yeah.
But, anyway, we ought to officially begin the program. Now, what happens here, Sergeant Perez? Do I?
The opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we do here is we're going to ask for people to check in with the Radio from Hell show. See if they'll let us know that they're ready to do the show. That
Okay.
they want us at there. We they're ready to go, and it shows us that we should be ready to go as well. So we have them call 877-602-9696 during this commercial break, and in 3 words, tell us, how do you judge a person? What are your criteria? 3 words, 3 criteria to judging a person. You just met them. How do you judge them? So call us 877-602-9696 and check in, and then we'll come back and officially begin the program.
You could.
Phone calls of people checking in, so hang in there for just a couple of minutes more as we officially begin the Radio from Hell show, and then we'll hear from you. 3 words or less. How do you judge a person? Yes, Gary.
Actually, because it's Utah Word of the Day,
Yeah.
620.
20.
20.
620. All right, Nick, do you have a sponsor for the beginning of the show?
Absolutely. It's brought to you by Katrubis Volkswagen. Northern Utah's hometown Volkswagen dealership is right in the heart of Layton at 1230 North Main Street between Antelope and Hillfield Road.
The moon is 49.1% of full. It is a waning moon. We'll have a full moon again on July 16th. The moon will set today at 1:47 p.m., today being Tuesday. It's the 25th day of June in the year of our Lord, 2019. And you're listening to the morning show that, like thunder and lightning, the way we love you is frightening, so you better knock on wood. We're Radio from Hell, starring the mullahs of morning radio.
Ooh.
We are the sons of Soros, the lords of radio. Kerry Jackson, Bill Allred, and Gina Barberi, who is on vacation. So filling in for her today is Nick Perez, Staff Sergeant?
Staff Sergeant.
Staff Sergeant Nick Perez. So now we'll go to check-ins, 877-602-9696, and 3 words or less. How do you judge a person now? Do check-ins have a sponsor? You can do one if you want, or if you need to get one out of the way. A floating check? No? Okay.
All right.
We'll go right to it.
Let's get right to it then. We will start with Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hello, how are you doing?
Fairly well, Matt. Tell us in 3 words or less, how do you judge a person?
Well, by how they treat books, animals, and the food they eat.
How they treat books, animals, and the food they eat.
That's interesting. Treating books well. Now, I have the tendency to write notes in books. Is that okay? I mean, they're my books.
That is fine.
Okay.
Yes, they're yours.
Okay.
But if you borrow a book to somebody and it comes back in a, decrepit
yeah.
state, that just...
That's true. And then how they treat their food. You mean what they pick to eat or just how they eat it?
It's what they eat. So if their idea of a great meal is going to McDonald's, that's their... Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said to one of my kids once. I said, what are you doing tonight? He said, I'm going out to dinner with some friends. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Red Robin. I said, well, then you're not going out to dinner. You're going out to eat, but that's not dinner.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's go to, is it Gene?
Hi, Gene.
Gene.
Hello, gentlemen.
Gene, I'm really appreciating the misspelling here on our. It says here, how do you judge a person, and how do you judge a person, Gene?
Oh, I judge a person by their demeanor.
Yeah, demeanor. That's not spelled quite right on here, but hi. Yeah, what do you mean by that, Gene?
Well, if somebody can't keep eye contact or offer a handshake or talk to you face to face, and
well, you'll hate
can
me
tell
then.
they don't have
Gene.
integrity.
Yeah,
I have no integrity, Gene.
he doesn't make eye contact.
I don't make
or,
eye contact
or handshake.
Or handshake.
Yeah, but it's not.
I've met you guys, and I know you guys have integrity, so you can't say that.
But I meet people every day. You're right. Who it's hard to have a conversation with them, and I feel bad for them because they're just awkward. They can't seem to quite make connection with you because they're shy or they just feel like they can't do it, and it is difficult. Anyway, thanks, Gene.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Thank
ya.
you, Gene. Let's go to
Tona Colada.
Tona Colada.
I like Tona Colada.
Our old friend Tona. Hi.
Tona, where are you living
Hello
now?
there.
Where are you living now?
We're in South Tempe in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, yeah. All right. So Tona, thanks for still listening to the show all the way from Phoenix. How do you judge? How do you judge a person?
Shoes, belt, makeup, and or hair.
Shoes, belt, makeup, and or hair.
Shoes.
Okay, I'm wearing flip-flops.
I don't wear
I
makeup
don't-
anymore.
I have a belt. I have my
Belt.
belt, yes.
What does the belt tell you,
Yeah.
Tona?
If you can do a good combination, contrast,
Oh.
tells me you pay attention to detail. So light brown shoes with light brown belt on a blue suit tells me you care.
Yes.
A black belt, brown shoes tells me you don't care.
Yeah, you should match your belt with your shoes. That's
Yes.
true. Although Frank Zappa once told us, brown shoes don't make it. Anyway, thanks for checking in, Tona.
Thank you.
Let's see. We got a few text and chat room check-ins. Let's see. Not a cat.
No, this is not a cat.
Not a cat checking in.
Not a cat checking in 3 words or less. How do you judge a person?
Offers me food.
But that's not a cat.
Not a cat. But it's good to hear from you again, Not a Cat. It's been a while. Nathan, only height me.
Only height
That must be voice to text.
me.
Kindness to animals
Yeah.
is coming up an awful lot. How well they treat wait staff. That's yes.
I should have a lot of friends for this person says how they handle their bourbon. Should have-
Jake in Housewares checking in, saying, "Are they messy shoppers?" Carrie the coordinator, how they treat the planet. Moni, hygiene.
Hi. Well, hi. Oh, their hygiene. I see.
Now this is an interesting one. How I judge by their car. Mainly the outdoorsy factor, since it's important to me. I can tell how outdoorsy someone is by the car they drive.
Yeah, you gotta have a rocket box on the top, or a ski rack, or both, and
Oh yeah.
or
then-
a bicycle rack.
But then here comes Steph,
Yeah.
and I agree with her completely.
Yes, Steph.
Nose hair.
Yeah. Well.
That is a deal killer.
Yeah. It's time for a trim, I think. For
Yeah.
me.
If it connects to your mustache, that's definitely
No, I don't need to see it.
no.
No.
Period.
No.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that's good.
That's good. All right, that's a good place. All right, let's do a little. This is the traffic music,
Yeah.
Sarge. So when this comes on, you know it's time to do some traffic.
All right. So the traffic, it's brought to you by the Stateroom, presents Bon Iver with special guest Sharon Von Eaton at the Maverick Center on September 4th. Tickets are at smithtix.com. Looks like there's a crash at eastbound I-80 ramp to the southbound I-215 in Salt Lake City on the right shoulder. And everything else looks pretty green.
All right.
Looks pretty good.
All right.
And we don't do weather here. Just
No, not yet. But we do have full strength. Big boy news, opinioendo, sports, weather, and traffic coming up.
okay.
So stand by for that. Excel Automotive Repair.
That's where we get our automotives repaired. When we have car problems, any one of us here, we always take our cars to XL because Steve and Richard and Kip and that one guy with the tattoos. They all really would take good care of your car. They know what they're doing, and they don't upsell you. They just say, this is what's wrong, and this is what it takes to fix it. Or, you've been misinformed. That sound isn't a bad thing at all. I mean, it might be a little annoying, but it's not dangerous. Go on your way. We're not going to charge you anything.
He also says, I don't know how many times I've fixed repairs that were made by Uncle So-and-so who thinks he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Uncle Tanous.
Yeah.
So listen, right now, XL Automotive Repair, $19.96 for full-service oil and filter change. Emissions tests are only $19.96 as well. Listen, they're on the corner of 33rd South and 3rd East. They're great mechanics. XLAutomotiveRepair.com.
When Carrie
All right, 6:35. Time for Full Strength. Big boy news, opinioendo, sports, weather, traffic. Brought to you by.
At Snowbird, there's no off season. With tram rides, hiking, and activities at base, there are plenty of ways to take summer head on. Jumpstart your summer at snowbird.com.
Well, it took nearly 51 years, but 60 Minutes profiled one of the most prolific musicians and composers in popular music today, Paul McCartney.
Oh, really?
First time he's ever been on.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
odd. And maybe that's because it's nearly impossible to find something new or surprising to talk about with Sir Paul McCartney, because his life is an open book, pretty
Yeah.
much. He's always been forthcoming, and he gives interviews, and But I watched this interview yesterday online, and it's good. He's very charming. He's funny. He's thoughtful, and he seems like a really nice man. Paul McCartney does. And the one thing that I want to mention about the interview, as they took him through some personal stories, and they showed him old pictures of him and John Lennon together. And by the way, Paul McCartney was really handsome when he was a young man, and he's 77, and he looks great now. But he was just a handsome young guy. But the one thing he said, did you and John compliment each other on the music? And he said, well, I can only remember him complimenting me one time. One time in our entire careers together did John ever compliment me on something. I think it was the song, let's see, I'm trying to remember from the interview now. Was it Oh Blah Dee Blah Da?
No.
No, it was...
It was one that you don't hear that often, actually.
I can't think of it now.
Yeah.
I thought it was here in this particular story, but
It
it's not.
should be. If you're quoting him with that quote, you should follow up with, it was this song.
It's probably here somewhere. But at any rate, he said he complimented me one time. He said, oh, that's a pretty good song, mate. Then later on, he says in the interview, I used to compliment him quite often, but he never complimented me. He said we would do songs, though, we were competitive. He would do a song, and I'd go to myself, I'd say, God, that's a great song. And then I'd try and write one better.
Yeah.
And, oh, here it is. It was only one time that he ever gave me a compliment. It was on the album Revolver, and the song was Here, There, and Everywhere.
Oh,
It's one of my songs on Revolver. It's a really pretty song.
It's one you don't hear that
And
often.
when I brought it, John said, "That's a really nice song." That's the only time he ever complimented me. You have that there?
I don't have it
No,
in the
that's
system. No,
that's
I'd have to pull it up from my own.
That's okay. Salt Lake City police say that Mackenzie Lewick took a ride with a Lyft driver from Salt Lake City International Airport early June 17th. This was like 1, 2 in the morning, to North Salt Lake's Hatch Park, and she met someone in a vehicle. That's the last time police or Lewick's family and friends know the whereabouts of the 23-year-old University of Utah student, said Tim Doubt, assistant police chief. In that week, Lewick missed a midterm exam and a scheduled flight to California on Sunday. She's not used her phone, has not visited her home near Trolley Square. Her family filed a missing persons report on Thursday afternoon. Still no evidence of foul play, said Assistant Chief Doubt, but we want to make sure that she's all right. Police spent Monday canvassing the Hatch Park area in North Salt Lake, and following leads from newly created tip line, 6 detectives are answering calls at 801-799-4420, and others are chasing down the information. Now, Doubt pointed out that Lewick might be off the grid voluntarily and does not want to be found. And if that's the case, you have to be kind of careful to not violate someone's privacy. If they don't want to be found, then then that's their right.
Yeah.
Doubt talked about the timeline of her activities, her plane, and all of that, but she didn't appear to be in any distress, the Lyft driver told police, and the Lyft driver went to pick up other passengers right after he dropped her off. Doubt said police need to confirm the make and model of the vehicle and a description of the person Lewick met, before releasing those details. Police are looking at surveillance video around Hatch Park, adding that there were no cameras inside the park. Now, I don't know who told them. I'm assuming it was the Lyft driver who said, I dropped her off in at the park, and she went over to a car. And
The Lyft drivers.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the Lyft driver.
Okay.
Who
Well,
said,
yeah, because he'd be the only witness.
yeah,
really.
and it was early in the morning, like 2:42
Yeah, I was
a.m.
gonna say about 2:30
Well,
in the morning.
3 a.m. and they got to the park.
Okay.
And she met someone in a vehicle. So there you go. Let's see, hundreds of detained migrant children,
Ugh.
and our congressional delegation really stepping up with this. Chris Stewart says, "Well, of course they deserve a toothbrush," and so.
Way to go. That's a bold statement there, Chris.
Yeah, he's really pushing back on the Trump.
Basic needs. That's what.
I've been to the
what he's-
border and seen firsthand the unacceptable conditions, said Representative John Curtis. Oh, no, it was Curtis who said that the administration's legal argument that it didn't have to provide soap, toothbrushes, or other hygiene items is ridiculous. Unaccompanied migrant children should absolutely have access to soap, toothbrushes, and other basic amenities.
That's bold.
It is.
That's real bold of you there, Chris. Way to go.
Then he goes on. No, it's John Curtis.
Or John, excuse me. Yeah.
I misspoke in the beginning of the story.
All right.
The burden of the solution rests solely on the shoulders of Congress, though. And both parties have failed, Curtis said. I have consistently called for adequate resources at the border as well as other critical solutions. He's right about one thing. The United States Congress as a whole has not come up with a good immigration policy.
Well, everything that
However-
the Democrats propose gets shot down.
However, this whole mess at the border right now is all Trump's doing, the Trump administration's doing. Representative Ben McAdams says the government's position is concerning. We are better than this as a country, he said,
Yes.
and these kids deserve better. This is a complicated situation to be sure, and at best we've got to provide kids a safe and sanitary environment. But McAdams said he didn't know if the administration is trying to punish immigrants crossing the border or seeking asylum, but the situation has deteriorated so quickly it's hard to manage. I don't know what the motives are, but I know they're overwhelmed. The system is overwhelmed.
As with most things with this administration, cruelty is the point.
And hundreds of migrant children have now been moved out of an overcrowded border station because people have seen it.
Yeah, this bad one. And they don't know where they're being sent to.
No,
Another crowded
Probably.
station. Yeah.
the station has, they're taking kids out of there.
And then you see these people on TV who go, well, I mean, what do you expect us to do? Put them up in a nice hotel? No.
No.
Why is it extremes with you guys? Why can't we just do the right thing?
So E. Jean Carroll, columnist for Elle magazine, said in a CNN interview that she fought back when Donald Trump sexually assaulted her in a Bergdorf Goodman fitting room. This was some years ago. E. Jean Carroll said that Donald Trump sexually assaulted her. She doesn't like to use the word rape, but that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
He denies the accusation. How does he deny the accusation? Well, he came out pretty forcefully yesterday saying, I couldn't have assaulted her. She's not my type.
Okay.
Meaning, if somebody was his type, he would sexually assault
I
them.
was going to ask him what his type is that he would assault.
Trump said that E. Jean Carroll, who wrote for years for Elle magazine, was lying when she said that he threw her up against a wall and forced himself on her in the mid-'90s, and he insisted he did not know her. I'll say it with great respect. No. Number one, she's not my type. Number two, it never happened, okay?
Wrong.
I have found his type in his own words. You ready?
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
There you go. We found his type.
You know,
Classy fellow.
Michelle Obama got invited to be on the cover of Vogue magazine 3 times, but Melania Trump, not once. Melania Trump spokeswoman Stephanie Grisham said, hit back at Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour's choice to not feature the First Lady on its cover. To be on the cover of Vogue doesn't define Mrs. Trump. She's been there, done that long before she was First Lady. Her role as First Lady of the United States and all that she does is much more important than some superficial photo shoot and cover. So all of this indicates to me that they're pissed that she's not on the cover.
Yeah.
And Anna Wintour says, and she won't be.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's not a choice we want. Listen, the police in Florida have, they have something. If you're missing an ear, the Florida Police Department has it. They're trying to locate the owner of a prosthetic ear that was found on a beach
Michael Madsen could not be reached for comment.
after a competition. There's a little Reservoir Dogs reference there. The Holmes Beach Police Department posted a photo of the rubber ear found on the sand after the World's Strongest Man contest on Anna Maria Island, south of Tampa Bay. Officials told local media that a local resident found the left-sided ear, and they waited a couple of days after the event to post on Facebook. You know, good prosthetic ears can cost thousands of dollars. Oh, and speaking of prosthetics, have you got that picture, Katie? This is what I found when I came downstairs this morning to go to work on my kitchen table. I posted a picture of it at RFH Bill, and on Twitter, you can find it there. Maybe you can see it at x96.com/live. Maybe. And did you put it anywhere on our Facebook or put it on our? Oh, this is great. I wanted to do this story here. I had it planned, and no. Okay.
All right.
Never mind.
There it is.
Oh, x96.com/live, and put it on Facebook and our Radio from Hell Twitter if you would too, Katie. This is what I found on my kitchen table this morning when I came down to go to work.
Now, do we know?
This is a costume my son has been working on for the haunted house, and it's a torso, and the stomach is open, and there are tentacles coming out of the stomach.
Now,
And it's all covered with gore.
Are those teeth or bones?
Those are tentacles.
Oh.
They will move when he's wearing the costume.
Oh.
Like
Wow.
Yeah. This is what I find in my house all the time. This kind of stuff. Prosthetic ear is nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't judge at this state. I have to see the final presentation.
Well, you got to admit it's disturbing.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of thing you want on the kitchen table,
No.
on the dining room
Especially
table.
at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. No. All right. One quick story here. Just this is kind of a sports story.
Plenty of time.
Kind of a sports story, I guess. Italy has won the vote to host the Winter Games.
Yep.
2026.
The Winter Games.
Yeah. 2026 Winter Games. Now, when the announcers, when the news announcers did it yesterday, I heard it say, well, Italy has won the vote to host the 2026 Winter Games in the city of Milan. And then he said, and here's how it sounded when they announced the vote. And they go to, and now the vote goes to, and I said to myself, they're going to say the city of Milano. That's what they're going to say, because that's what it's called, Milano. So why do American announcers have to say Milan? And sure enough, the guy went, and the Winter Olympics goes to the city of Milano. It just bugs the hell out of me. Why can't we call it Milano?
Well, why do we call the city in Germany Munich?
Yeah, when the people there call it München.
They call it München.
Yeah.
But we say Munich.
Because, well, they're dumb Germans, and they don't know how to... That's the reason. I mean, really, that's the reason that we anglicize everything, because we think we're better than the other people.
Yeah.
It's like all of those provinces in China, that used to be Chongqing and, places like that.
Yeah, that was us, right?
Yeah, well, I think it was the British.
Oh.
Chongqing and Shanghai. That's not what they are,
Well, which is why I'm respectful to the people of Hooper.
Because they say Hooper.
And I don't call it Hooper.
And Hurricane.
And Hurricane and not Hurricane.
Yeah. And Mantua. Even though it's supposed to be Mantua. Because it's an Italian city.
Yes. They call it Mantua, so that's what I call it.
Mantua is a city in Italy called Mantua. If you read Romeo and Juliet, you know that.
Yeah.
In Mantua, where we lay our scene.
I'll take that a step further. If a guy approaches me and says, call me Denise, I will call him Denise.
Well, of course you will.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
You sure it's not Dennis?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
No.
Hi, my name is Denise. Hello,
Okay.
Denise.
Hi,
How are
Denise. Nice to see you.
you? All right. Sports weather traffic.
So, sports.
Yes, Nick.
Yep.
Sports.
So, are you a loving dad who wants the best for his children? Well, we're here to help.
You know it.
For a free consultation and review of your legal rights, call 801 Fathers. The law office of Jolly and Jolly. We're here to help. So the women's USA team, the soccer team, they won last night against Spain, which was kind of awesome in the FIFA Women's World Cup. And I was reading last night that because the NBA awards was last night, and Jazz, the Utah Jazz center, Rudy Gobert, he won Defensive Player of the Year for the second year in a row.
Mm-hmm. And he's didn't he get traded?
I think so.
Yeah, he's gone. I
Yeah,
think,
he's
isn't he?
but he won, so that was kind of cool. And then besides that, just RSL, they play this weekend, and the Royals play this weekend.
Oh, and Nick Raimondo was named MSL Player
MSA play over the
of the week or
Yep,
the
of
month
the week.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is his last season.
I know, so sad,
Mm-hmm.
so sad to see him go.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. So weather,
All right.
yeah, weather. It's brought to you by Hoops Vision. Make sure nothing gets between you and your life focus. Exceeding expectations, excuse me, exceeding expectations in every way. Hoops Vision is Utah's leader in laser vision correction. Call 877-30-LASIK or visit hoopsvision.com. Right now, it's mostly cloudy, 63 degrees with a high of 89. Inside the studio, it feels like a balmy 26, but
Yeah.
it's definitely it's 66 degrees.
Very cold in there.
Yeah.
Traffic.
And then traffic. Let's let this refresh. So right now, it's pretty green. The last thing, there was a crash on southbound I-15 at milepost 327 in Kaysville, and a crash at milepost 4 in Weber County. But besides that, all the cameras and traffic looks pretty green this morning.
Yeah, if you see
Stay
anything
safe.
on traffic, text us 33986 too. All right? Oh, Rudy Gobert did not get traded, apparently.
He did not.
No, okay.
Somebody on a text just says that didn't get traded. And apparently Cement Dave can hook us up with a prosthetic ear for just $60.
Whoa.
Not thousands of dollars. So I can get you one for $60.
He just pulls up, opens up his trunk.
Yeah. I got a whole trunk load of them right here. All right, so there we go.
All right. Well, we have a few moments here. Is there anything you'd like to bring up?
Well,
here?
it's it is kind of it's interesting to have Sarge here in the studio
Yes.
with
Yeah.
us. And now you've been here almost an hour.
Yes.
How is it for you?
It's awesome. I mean, it's kind of nerve wracking. It's like, it's almost like, I'm filling in for Oprah. Like
What?
Gina is not Oprah.
I know she's not Oprah, but it's like the same,
It's
Gina
not,
Barbier. In my eyes, it's like, all right, well, I'm sitting in the hot seat in Gina's seat. Like, I almost wanted to wear like an American flag hat.
Well, you
just,
should have.
I should have, but you
What-
can't mess up the hair.
Well, I don't know if she's Oprah level. Maybe Judge Judy.
Oh no.
Oh.
Judge Judy's above Oprah.
Well, money wise, but
And people watching.
but I mean influence.
yeah, people
Influence,
but
yeah, I would
Oprah is-
say.
people love Oprah.
Yeah.
Pe-
As far
pe-
as influence,
more
yeah.
people watch Judge Judy. I just read an article about her in the New York Times, and she's like, she has all the money.
Yeah.
The exposure that I get to Judge Judy is when I go to pick up my dogs from the dog groomer. My groomer has on the TV,
The
while
TV, yeah.
she's doing, the stuff, and I get to hear Judge Judy.
Yep.
And she has not gotten kinder over the years, has she?
No, she has not. Yeah,
Didn't
Judge
she just get a star on the Walk of Fame? In
Well, she
Hollywood?
should.
probably.
Yeah, I think she just got one.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
there,
went- yeah, Keanu Reeves, then Judge Judy.
and there's a big push to get Carrie Fisher a star on the Walk of Fame.
Yes.
She doesn't have one.
She doesn't have
No.
one.
Yeah.
I heard about that this weekend, that there's some sort of petition. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah. Well, and we all know how petitions work. I mean,
Exactly.
and they work very well.
Well, I think isn't the family or the
Yeah,
person
yeah.
who's getting the star, they have to pay for it in petition, don't they? I don't know how that works.
Fans can do it, but there is a Hollywood Walk of Fame star
Like
committee.
yeah.
And
I'm sure if
they-
enough people say something, they're gonna.
But then, you don't the star themselves or somebody they don't pay for it. It's not something. The star has to pay for it.
Yeah.
Or his family or her family has to pay.
And
for
here's a text. Rudy Gobert did not get traded. You guys are the worst.
I said I think he got traded, and then I corrected it.
Welcome to Comic-Con, baby. All right?
Jeez.
You're acting just like those awful geeks, okay? That makes us the worst.
Yeah.
The worst. We corrected ourselves, but we're still the worst.
Well, when it comes to sports, that may be true.
That's sports radio fans are worse than Comic-Con geeks.
We have a sports radio boner coming up in the.
We do?
Boners round 1. I think.
I like radio boners, sports or otherwise.
They should make sports radio illegal.
I think so.
I think it should be against the law to do sports radio.
I don't know what the point is.
It's
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's take a break. We will be back with, is it Utah Word coming up?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Also, round 1 of your boners. Stand by for that. What's happening downtown?
there's the Downtown Alliance and X96 and Strong Volkswagen present a July 4th Independence Day celebration downtown at the Gateway Olympic Plaza. It's from 4 to 10 p.m. on July 4th. 4 to 10 p.m. The Gateway is kicking up its patriotic heels, they say, for this year's 4th of July celebration. It'll include entertainment, food, and fun for the whole family. Admission is free. There will be magicians, buskers. That's okay. It's okay. They're kid-friendly. Karaoke fun, a live art installation entitled What's Your American Dream, and classic American food available at all the Gateways, many bars and restaurants.
Nice.
There will be food trucks on the Olympic Legacy Plaza as well, craft beer from Bohemian Brewery, and American cocktails from Five Wives available for people who are old enough to drink. Music, Backseat Lover, Parkway Avenue, DJs Jared Logic and Jarvicious, and Bangarang, and all kinds of stuff. It's July 4th at the Gateway. X96 wants Well, man, we were all kinds of wrong in that last break.
Yep.
All kinds of wrong.
Really?
Yes.
Apparently.
First of all, okay, Rudy Gobert did not get traded.
Okay.
Right? We okay. All right. Nick Raimondo. Now this is his last season.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he was named to the. I said he got an honor. He was named the Player of the Week or the Month or something. No, he was named to the MLS All-Star team.
Oh.
Okay. So
Okay.
To be specific about it.
Right.
And then
It's kind of the same
this
thing.
is terrible. This is really terrible.
What now?
Well, when I said Mantua,
Oh, boy.
it is an Italian city, and I know it's mentioned in Romeo and Juliet, but I also know that the quote really is not in fair Mantua where we lay our scene. The play begins pretty much with, it's in fair Verona
Oh yeah.
where we lay our scene. The city is Verona.
That's right. It was. It was. Yes.
But I know that
Well-
the city of Mantua is mentioned somewhere, I'm pretty sure, in Romeo and Juliet.
Being merely a high school graduate, I wouldn't necessarily have gotten that right. I'm concerned that you got that wrong. Though.
Well, but then somebody says that, well, I should know better because I was a theater major.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And somebody says that they went to Munich 2 weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
and until then had no idea
Yeah.
that it was actually called München.
I got news for you cheese lovers, by the way. Gouda. It's not Gouda.
What?
It's Howda,
Howda.
because it's a city.
Yeah.
And the people there say, welcome to Howda.
Would you like some of our cheese?
Yeah, I'd like some of your Gouda cheese.
No, it's Howda.
No, it's Howda.
But the nice woman did say, we don't care if you say Gouda.
That being said, if you go to the cheese shop here in America, don't ask for Howda because the cheese person might go, huh?
Yeah. And also, you
Are
know,
they really a cheesemonger,
Vincent,
though, if they don't know that?
That's true. But, Vincent van Gogh, his name was really Vincent van Gogh. But if you say that, you sound like an ass.
You do. You do.
You sound like a pretentious turd. So,
Absolutely.
so you probably shouldn't go around saying, "Oh, I love the painter Vincent van Gogh," because people would say, "What?"
People who say that also pronounce it encyclopedia.
Paedia. All right. Well, while we're educating you, I guess it's time for another lesson in language.
Yeah.
And is this sponsored, Sarge?
The word of the day? Mm-hmm. No, it is not.
Well, that's a crime. Or that's sensible.
It's sensible, I'd say.
I think that's.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
It's often said that people of Utah speak a language all their own. It's a language that's often confusing and even incomprehensible to newcomers here in the Beehive State. So, Radio from Hell presents a handy guide to help everyone understand how the natives speak. It's the Utah word of the day, and today's word is...
Hills. Our word today is hills, Hills. And now, taking time out of their busy schedules, our two Utah men, LeVar and LeGrand, have joined us to present this important word in the Utah lexicon, sometimes called Utonics by overpaid scholars with nothing better to do. Please note that the Utah word today is inspired by a suggestion from actual listener mail. Again, the word is hills.
Hey, what you got there, LeVar? It looks like you're watching a TV, but you got it right in your hand. I mean, there ain't no wires, and there ain't no antenna neither. What in the Sam heck?
Oh, hey there, LeGrand. Well, it's like a TV, but you don't need any wires or antenna or anything.
Like I said.
Like you said.
Yeah.
It's called an iPad, and it works like a TV, but without no wires and no antenna. And if you live next door to someone who has an iPad too.
Oh.
I don't understand it real good, but I know that it works in them coffee places too for some reason. You know them Starbucks places? You can watch the TV thing there too. But other places, I don't think you can.
Oh, okay. But what you watching on it?
Well, you know, sometimes we call the regular TV the boob tube.
Boob tube.
This here is the YouTube.
YouTube.
And I can see all kinds of things and stuff. Like, see this here?
Yeah.
It's called skateboarding.
Wow. Oh, and look at that lady. She's skateboarding in hills.
Yep. She's doing it. And she's wearing hills.
By hell, she is. She's wearing high heels. Must be really hard to skateboard in the hills when you're wearing high heels.
Yep. But she is.
Join us again some other time as we examine how the Utah natives speak with the Utah word of the day.
Now, I said that it was inspired by listener mail. Here's the actual piece of mail.
Oh, okay.
From Michael Simister. My in-laws came into town, and while they live in Idaho, they are totally from here. They live in Idaho now.
Wow.
My mother-in-law said as she was watching a YouTube video, that lady is skateboarding in hills. Is she crazy? I asked her what was crazy about skateboarding on hills, and she said, no, hills, like high hills.
Oh, my.
And I said, oh, heels. Thank you for letting me listen.
People are appreciating LeGrand's touch of Porky Pig in your diction. So there you go.
I think I found a new character trait.
For all these years,
Yeah.
you're still exploring the character and finding out new things about him.
And
And
that's to make it fresh,
Exactly.
You have to make it live every day.
all right.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right, so traffic. It's brought to you by The Blocks is downtown Salt Lake. And there's no more than 80 events every month. For full listing of performing and visual arts events, visit theblocksslc.com. Right now, there's a crash northbound Redwood Road at 2200 South in West Valley City. And then it looks like there's some slowage down in Draper. And that's about it. Everything else looks pretty green, so keep driving safe out there this morning.
All right, it's time for round one of your boners, and here are the candidates. We'll get to voting on them and finding out about them in a minute, but the candidates are, number one, it was worth it. Number two, he drives me crazy. And number three, my feathers weren't bothering anybody.
Oh, okay. All right, we got round one of your boners, big boy news, opinioendo, all coming up. Stand by for that. Grove.co/X96. Now, I have been recently thinking about the environment more. I mean, I've
noticed that.
I have before, but I'm thinking about it more. It was that there's so many different stories, and we've been talking to Sarge here about grocery bags, reusable grocery bags for Radio from Hell, and getting those going. Well, Grove makes shopping for natural products accessible and affordable, so you can easily choose the healthiest products for you and your family. And this is what I've encountered, is that there's some products that I want to get, and then there are other products I want to get, and they're in different stores.
Yeah.
And, so I have to go to this store for that one, this store for that one. Well, Grove makes it easy. It's all in one place. So you can find these products, things like sunscreen, mosquito repellent, window cleaner, laundry detergents, non-toxic dish soap, plant-based skincare, tree-free paper towels, things like that. You can find all the best natural, eco-friendly products online, deliver them straight to your door in one place. It's just so handy. And, of course, Grove delivers natural brands like Mrs. Meyer's, 7th Generation, Burt's Bees, and, of course, Grove brand products. Try Grove now for this summer-ready offer before it runs out. For a limited time, our listeners will get a 5-piece cleaning set from Mrs. Meyer's and Grove, a free 60-day VIP membership, and a free cleaning kit just for you when you sign up and place an order of $20 or more. Check out Grove and our special offer at grove.co/X96. You got to do the /X96 to get this deal. That's grove.co, not com, /X96. right.
Sink pooper is funny.
Sink pooper.
Sink pooper.
I listened to an interview with Colbert
Yeah.
on that Conan O'Brien podcast. Mm-hmm. Colbert is a smart man.
Yes, he is.
He is a real smart man.
Very smart.
All right, let's get to it then. Here we go. It is round one of your boner voting, presenting to you 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, funny human behavior. You will consume them in your ear holes, and then you'll shake them around inside there and think about them for a bit. Mm-hmm. And then you'll decide which one of these 3 is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight, possibly become boner of the day. See if it wins here, it's the winner of round 1. Kudos. Not boner of the day yet. Got to defeat the winner of round 2's voting. We'll do this again in an hour at 8:20. So we get round 2, 3 more candidates. We'll take both of the winners of each round.
It's an embarrassment of boners.
I know, right? It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we'll throw both of the champions of each round into boner fight. 9:20 is when boner of the day happens. All right, so get comfortable. We have our work cut out for us. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
A boner T-shirt
from our friends at Excel
from
Automotive.
our friends at
Repair.
Excel. Yeah.
Yeah, can't buy it, gotta win it.
Yeah.
Can't buy it, gotta win it. You're
It's,
right.
yeah, Radio from Hell boner T-shirt. All right, here's boner candidate number 1. Well, it was worth it. It was worth it. Those were the final words of a young female Dodgers fan as she was being carried off the field by security at Dodger Stadium on Sunday afternoon. The young fan is reportedly a 14-year-old girl. She jumped from the stands onto the field in the top of the 8th inning just to run out and give Los Angeles Dodgers outfielder Cody Bellinger a hug. At first, I heard the crowd cheering, and I looked to my left, and I saw this chick recording with her phone, running, said Bellinger of the moment in question. She came up to me and said, "I want a hug," and she gave me a hug. And then, as she gave me a hug, a security guard tackled her. According to the Los Angeles Dodgers fan code of conduct, any fan that goes onto the field to play is considered a violation, and that will result in immediate ejection and or arrest and prosecution. Now, Bellinger knows the rules. So after the girl was tackled by the police, he said, "You know you're going to jail, don't you?" And according to Bellinger, she said, "Yeah, I know, but it was worth it." Really? Really, was it worth it?
I don't know.
I don't think it was worth it. Bellinger went on to say that despite the fact that she believed it was worth it, her parents who will likely have to pay her fine, probably will not agree with her.
Yeah.
That it was worth it to run onto the field and hug him. Boner candidate number 1. Here's boner candidate number 2. He drives me crazy. A mother in Peoria, Arizona, left her 9-year-old child alone at McDonald's. I'm assuming there was Playland there.
I don't know if they have Playlands anymore, do they?
I think so.
Hopefully it's an older one that has one.
To gamble at a casino because, quote, "This 9-year-old kid drives me crazy." Police say that Stacy Rupp of she's of Phoenix, dropped off her 9-year-old son at the McDonald's in Peoria on Wednesday at 8:30 in the evening and then hit the Desert Diamond Casino located a mile away. An employee observed the unsupervised, dirty and disheveled boy and called the police. Staff showed the boy a coloring book, gave him some ice cream and cookies. Officer Brandon Sheffert of the Peoria Police Department says that the boy was not upset. He said his mother dropped him off in order to gamble all the time, but noted she always comes back. Rupp had left her son unattended for 2 hours. Rupp arrived a few minutes after law enforcement and with excuses. According to police, Rupp first told officers she was grocery shopping at Fry's Marketplace, located in the same shopping area as the McDonald's. Then she admitted that she had messed up and went to the casino. "He drives me crazy, and he steals my money," she said, of the 9-year-old son.
Wow.
Rupp did not provide. Anyway.
I'll just let anybody have kids, you know.
That's basically the story. Wow. Boner candidate number 2. He drives me crazy. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. My feathers weren't bothering anybody.
All right. Boner candidate number 3 for round one. Coming up after this, big boy news and opinioendo, brought to you by.
Pyro City in Evanston, Wyoming, one of the only 2 authorized black cat dealers in all of Wyoming, is now open for the best fireworks season yet. Visit them today on top of the hill off of I-80, exit 3.
All right, thank you.
When I was young and stupid, and as opposed to being older and stupid, and played with firecrackers and things like that, black cats. Those were some of the special. I like black cats and I like ladyfingers. Ladyfingers firecrackers. As I recall, they were small firecrackers.
Yeah.
And you'd light off a whole string of them and throw them.
Yeah.
And then your one of your friends would get his hand blown off with a cherry bomb.
Or when one of your friends is sleeping, you put a bunch of them inside of a pot right next to him and then light them.
Yeah. I had I got in very big trouble once with a cherry bomb because, cherry bombs are waterproof essentially. You can throw them in the water and they will blow up in the water.
Yep.
And my next door neighbors had a pool. And their daughter was in the pool. And I threw a lit cherry. Boy, what a terrible thing to do!
Yeah,
threw a lit cherry bomb.
I was just going to say.
I was like 8 years old or something, 9 years old, 10, something like that. 10 years old maybe. I don't know where I got the damn cherry bomb, but I lit it and threw it in the pool and scared the hell out of her. And yeah, I got in very big trouble for that.
Deservedly.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Ex-Playboy playmate Valerie Mason has not been doing well since she lived in the mansion with Hef.
Oh, she did?
I think she was on the TV show, the Hef's Bunnies or whatever.
I don't recognize the name.
According to the report, officers made a traffic stop for a car that had a busted taillight in which Valerie Mason was riding shotgun. And when the guy who was driving couldn't provide ID, he was searched, and police say they found drug paraphernalia in his pocket that's usually associated with meth. And then officers asked Valerie and another guy who was in the back seat to step out as well. And upon further investigation, cops say they found 2 grams of meth in the passenger door panel and a hypodermic needle in the car. Valerie Mason, the former Playboy playmate who was featured on The Girls Next Door, was arrested for drug possession specifically for meth. There's a picture of her when she was a playmate, and then a picture of her now. The drugs have not treated her well or kindly at all. SpaceX launched its heftiest rocket with 24 research satellites aboard yesterday in the middle of the night. I guess it was last night. In the middle of it says ride share featuring deep space atomic clock, solar sail, a clean and green rocket fuel, and also some human ashes were on board.
Okay.
It was the Falcon Heavy rocket. It's their biggest rocket. The Defense Department, dubbed STP-2 for Space Test Program, is expected to provide data to certify the Falcon Heavy and reused boosters for future national security launches. It marked the military's first ride on a recycled rocket. Both side boosters landed back at Cape Canaveral several minutes after liftoff, just as they did after launching in April, but the new core booster missed an ocean platform, not expected for this especially difficult mission space. Not unexpected for this mission, they said. So they managed to save the 2 side. That's been the big innovation that Elon Musk has been working on, is recovering a lot of this stuff to reuse it, to make it more financially feasible.
Yeah. Well, that was about the only. Well, there were a couple of flaws with the space shuttle, but that the rocket boosters, you couldn't reuse them.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to see whose ashes were on board. It says here.
Please say it was Stan Lee's.
Oh,
it doesn't say.
that would have been perfect.
Doesn't say who's at, but there were some human ashes on board. Oh, there it is. An astronaut who flew on NASA's first space station back in the 70s, Skylab's Bill Pogue, had a bit of his ashes on board, along with more than 150 other deceased people. Pogue died in 2014. I'm presuming that the ashes of people on board this heavy rocket, this rocket from SpaceX, the ashes were put there by people who paid to have them put there.
Yeah.
I would think.
You'd think.
Yeah. West Valley City Home is beginning to fill up with a lot of really random stuff. An antenna, light bulbs, decorative knickknacks, and a home waxing kit, to list a few. A new box of oddities shows up every couple of weeks, said Katie White, who claims, I didn't order any of this stuff. This is the most odd thing ever, she said. The boxes are all in her name and obviously list her address, but there have been 0 suspicious charges on her credit card.
So someone is sending them to her?
She says the shipments they all come from Amazon, which she has called multiple times to ask who's behind this. And the guy at Amazon says, I can't give you that information. And I'm like, but it has my name and address on it. I want to know if it's really being paid for. That's what I'm concerned about. White fears that some future bill in the mail, or worse, that she's somehow unwittingly involved in some sort of scam. With calls go to Amazon getting her nowhere, she contacted Gephardt at Channel 2, and they're looking into it. Gephardt reached out to Amazon on White's behalf, not through customer service, but through the public relations team.
Yeah.
And a spokesman said they wouldn't tell Gephardt who sent the packages. But they did confirm that sending unsolicited packages is against Amazon rules. So even though we're not going to tell you who is sending them, if you don't want them, if they're unsolicited, then it is against the rules, and so they'll stop.
So Amazon is stopping.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's something.
Police in St. George have a crime on their hands. A St. George man charged with attempted murder after he allegedly broke into his ex-wife's home and stabbed a man there more than 20 times.
Whoa!
Wow.
Police respond. That's a crime of passion.
Yeah.
Police responded to a 911 call around 1:15 a.m. on Sunday. Officers found Jason Reveal at the door, front door, with blood on his hands, holding a pocket knife. He broke into his ex-wife's home, broke the front door frame, and forced his way into the master bedroom where the victim was still in bed. The suspect then stabbed the man with a pocket knife more than 20 times in the arm, leg, torso. Jeez. Yeah, he's in trouble. Let's see.
Here's back to that Amazon story.
Yeah.
Texter says, people will send random stuff to random people so that they can be verified purchases and leave good reviews for crappy products.
Really?
That's odd. More death in the Dominican Republic. Their island getaways went bad in ways that sound similar: crippling stomach cramps, explosive diarrhea, and malaise that lasted after they returned home. Well, these people didn't die, but they were very sick. They consider themselves lucky they survived their trip to the Dominican Republic. As reports of American tourists dying in the country continue to grab headlines, some travelers who fell violently ill say that they wonder whether they may have escaped a worse fate. More than a dozen people have reached out to Kaylin Null and Tom Schwander, a Colorado couple who were a focus of a CNN story this month, to share their accounts of being sickened as well. So whatever's going on, and I think probably whatever's made these people sick, and there are many of them now, is the same thing that's killing people in some instances.
Well, can't we get CSI Dominican Republic on this?
You would think. But it's a republic. Here, listen to these symptoms.
Okay.
Null and Schwander say they were nauseous, drooling uncontrollably, sweating, teary-eyed, and had horrible stomach cramps. The sickness continued for days after they returned home. U.S. doctors say they believe that they were poisoned by some compound found in insecticide. I could tell you a story about that, but I don't think I will now that I think about it.
Yeah.
And speaking of nauseous gas, Mars, it appears, is farting.
Damn it, Mars.
It's belching a large amount of gas.
Oh, Mars.
That
Not again.
could be a sign of microbes living on the planet today. In a measure taken on Wednesday, NASA's Curiosity rover discovered startlingly high amounts of methane, which, farts.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the Martian air. A gas that on Earth is usually produced by living things. The data arrived back on Earth Thursday. Scientists working on the mission were excitedly discussing the news, which had not yet been announced by NASA. Giving this surprising result, we've reorganized the weekend to run a follow-up experiment to find out what the heck's going on here, but something is emitting methane gas on Mars.
My stomach doesn't react well to cauliflower.
You know,
All right, deep cut there.
yeah, that's Marvin the Martian.
Yeah.
And you know, there's one of my favorite old jokes from National Lampoon years ago. What's the difference between a Martian fart and a sandstorm? A sandstorm doesn't smell bad. So,
Okay. Well, you can't argue with that.
yeah,
I'm getting more and more people talking about these Amazon packages.
yeah.
It's happening to a lot of people. I've received 3 Amazon packages that I've not been charged for, nor did I order, but were in my name and addressed to me.
That is weird.
When I called Amazon customer service, they say this is the first time they've ever heard of this. People will send I watched it on a red eye. I said, "Dear China, please do not send me free big screen TV so that you can give it a good review." That's what they're saying it is that so that you can get certified delivery review. You know, this product was actually delivered, but then they fake the review somehow. It's in the algorithm, and that's why people don't get. I mean, that's why people are getting these packages that they didn't order. It's for the reviews.
Seems weird.
That is weird.
We have it on authority that the Hard Rock Hotel in Dominican Republic has stopped serving alcohol in their mini bars
Yeah.
because they suspect that that's where it's coming from.
Yeah. All right, weather traffic, and then we'll go to number 3 here.
All right, weather. So we've gone right into summer again here in Utah. So let's celebrate with summer sticker sales event at Wasatch Front Kia on Riverdale Road. Right now, it's mostly cloudy, 67 degrees with a high of 90. And the UV index is 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to
Just so
know.
you knew that. Yeah.
Good news.
The more you know.
Okay.
All right. And then traffic. Introducing Jiffy Lube Multicare. Get services on brakes, batteries, spark plugs, and more. Jiffy Lube. You can do more in a jiffy. Visit jiffylubutah.com to buy oil changes online and save big. Let's see this update. There's a crash southbound I-15 on milepost 322. That's in Davis County. The HOV lane is blocked, so be wary of that. There's also another crash on southbound I-15, Hillfield Road in Layton. And then let's see, looks pretty green down in Sandy and Draper is where a lot of the slowage. Point of the mountain, it's all red. So just be careful out there. No
Okay.
more crashes.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3. My feathers weren't bothering anyone. Most of what Tashina Savala wore to honor her Navajo heritage was covered by the billowy folds of her graduation gown. Under it, she had on a traditional velvet dress that her grandmother had sewn for her and a turquoise and silver belt of her mom's. On her neck, she layered tribal necklaces, and on her feet, she slid on moccasins.
Oh, there's a picture at x96.com/live.
Each carried meaning, but Ms. Savala wanted to wear at least one thing from her culture that people would be able to see when she walked across the stage to get her diploma from Lehigh High School. So on top of her cap, alongside her tassel, she attached 3 brown eagle feathers.
Okay.
When she lined up behind the curtains with the other students on graduation day, she felt good in her regalia. Mm-hmm. And then she
It looks
remembers.
great.
Then she remembers the teacher saying, "What are those?" and pointing to her head where the feathers were. "Well, these feathers are sacred," Savala explained, pulling off her cap to show the teacher the small addition. "They represent honesty, truth, strength, and courage. Take them off, or I'm going to confiscate them." Savala said that the teacher insisted. "If you don't, you won't be able to walk in the graduation line."
Oh, Jesus.
He waved off her protest, she said, and repeated his command as the procession music started. Savala didn't want to get left behind, so she unclipped the feathers from her cap and kept them in her hand as she filed out with her classmates. The teacher, she said, waited by the entrance to make sure that she didn't put them back on.
Dick.
Because,
What?
it would just ruin everything.
Dick.
My culture is a really big deal to me, Savala said. Reflecting on the May 29th graduation ceremony, there was no reason why I should have had to take the eagle feathers off. They weren't bothering anybody. Boner candidate number 3. They weren't bothering anybody. My feathers weren't bothering anybody.
All right. Let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. It was worth it. A young fan, I think what did they say, 14-year-old girl, ran onto the field at Dodger Stadium during a game to hug player Cody Bellinger. And then I watched a little bit of the video. The security guys got her down on the ground and handcuffed her.
Mm-hmm.
And but she said it was worth it. No, I don't think so. Boner candidate number 2. He drives me crazy. It's a woman who dropped her 9-year-old son off at a McDonald's in Arizona so that she could go gamble for 2 hours a mile down the road. He drives me crazy and he tries to steal my money. And boner candidate number 3. My feathers weren't bothering anybody.
All right. Here we go. You've got to decide right now who the winner of round 1's boner voting is. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day? If it wins here, it'll have to defeat the winner of round 2's voting. Oh yeah, we do this again at 8:20 with 3 more candidates. So we'll take the winner of each round and put them both into the Boner Dome. At 9:20 this morning is when you'll decide boner of the day. Right now, you're picking the champion of round 1, so choose wisely. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that number, that single digit, in the message of a text. Text that to 33986. Or you can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go to the web, x96.com, and look for the box that says Boner Voting, June 25, 2019, and vote there. You do have less than 300 seconds to do it, though, so here we go. This is round 1. It's 7:47. Time to award round one of your boners.
And that's brought to you in part by a bowl of ramen.
Nice. And happy Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
happy
that's-
Tuesday.
okay.
Go to Gracie's and enjoy Tuesday night Bluegrass Jam with Pixie and the Partygrass Boys at 7 p.m. and then touring artist Pine Hearts from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
So we had boner candidate number one. It was worth it. The 14-year-old girl running onto the field during a game at Dodger Stadium to hug Cody Bellinger. She says it was worth it. Her parents probably will feel differently when they have to pay her fine.
Yeah.
Boner candidate number two. He drives me crazy, and he tries to steal all my money. That's what a woman said of her 9-year-old son. That's why she dropped him off at the McDonald's. The poor, dirty, disheveled little kid dropped him off and then went down the road to gamble at a casino. The kid's okay with it. She's okay. She always comes back. And boner candidate number three. My feathers weren't bothering anybody. A Navajo student had eagle feathers on her graduation cap, and her school said, take those off or you can't walk across the stage for graduation. Jared won a boner t-shirt, and the overwhelming winner
Overwhelming?
with 193 votes. Boner candidate number three, my feathers weren't bothering anybody.
All right, there you go. That is the winner of round one's boner voting. It now goes forward to boner fight. It might be boner of the day. Depends. We got round two coming up. 3 more candidates. 8:20 is when we'll do that. We'll get another winner there. We'll take both of those champions and put them against each other. Boner fight happens at 9:20.
So we have here in the studio filling in for Gina, Nick.
Yep.
Nick Perez. He's our new new promotions director.
Yeah.
You just sort of showed up one day.
Pretty much, yeah.
How did that happen?
So I moved here about 4 years ago, and I used to work for the state. And a buddy of mine that used to work here, he was like, hey, we need radio techs when some budget cut stuff happened. So they were like, come be a radio tech. So I was a remote tech for a good while.
Now, what were you doing for the state?
I worked at the Department of Corrections in the communications department.
Okay, and then but you're also in the National Guard.
Yeah.
And why did you move? So you told me once that if you're in the National Guard, you can kind of pick where you want to go.
Depending if you have if your job that you have in the military is open, you can pretty much move.
If there's an opening, you can move to another.
Yep.
So why did you want to come here?
Well, I've got a lot of friends that live here, and I was actually stationed up at Hill when I was active duty. Because I was active duty for 11 years, and I've been National Guard for the last 4. But yeah, my last active duty base was Hill.
I didn't realize you'd been here that long. And when you were at Hill Air Force Base for quite some time.
Yeah, about a year and a half, and then they did the voluntary separation thing. Then I went back and got and then I left to go guard so that I could get a bachelor's degree. And then I went to St. Louis. I've kind of been all over. And then I went from St. Louis to Seattle, worked there for a clinic.
You can't hold a job, or is it?
No, yeah.
It's just,
Well, hopefully this one sticks. But yeah, no, I've kind of bounced around and then ended up back here because I have a lot of friends and some really close people who I consider family. And then I worked for the state. I worked actually at the Capitol in the HR department, and then down at the Department of Corrections in the communications department. Yeah.
But you're from Detroit, right?
Originally, yeah, Detroit, Michigan.
And from Detroit, and your dad is in the radio business.
Yeah, I've been in radio since I was 9, so it's in my blood. Now, it sounds like a joke, but it's not. Yeah, my dad's been doing promotions and things like that. I actually was it's free labor when you got kids. Have them show up to remotes and stuff. And I would always help him out. And it's just kind of been something. And then when the state had and I got let go from the state from the budget cuts and all that stuff, they were like, my dad was like, well, why don't you just join the family business? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sort of surprised that you didn't just sort of stay in Detroit and go into the radio business in Detroit.
Yeah, the thing is like when I left Detroit, I joined the Air Force. So I kind of was forced to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that's from Detroit loves Detroit. I love being from Detroit, but I don't think I'll ever move back to Detroit. Right? Like, I go back to visit my family because my dad and everybody still lives there, my sisters, with their millions of children. And it's fun to go back, but I don't think I'll ever live back there. As much as I love Detroit and I'll always be, But, and when you join the Air Force, they kind of say, yeah, you can't stay there. So, I went to, basic training, and then my first base was Minot, North Dakota.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's where the missiles are, isn't it?
Well, I could not confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, there are missiles there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's underground silos and all that stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Now people know that.
I know they do.
Yeah. But you had some inclination that you always wanted to work here.
Yeah. So
When did that come about? That you said, I want to work at X96?
So when I first got here, a couple of friends, I was like, I'm always looking for radio stations because growing up in radio, music's kind of my thing. And I always looked for, like every time I moved to a different spot, I always looked for a couple radio stations that played really good music. And one of my friends, she was like, you got to listen to X96. She's like, you're going to love the morning show, and you're going to, the music's great. It's right in your wheelhouse. So I did. And literally, this was the only radio station that I listened to for the first year. And then I, found some other ones during the long commercial breaks.
Yeah.
But
That's because we're successful.
Exactly. Yeah, it's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
But, and then, I was like, if I ever were to work for a radio station, I'd want it to be X96. So now I'm the promotions
Here you
director.
are.
Yeah.
Now, you have another. I don't know how much time we have here.
A couple of minutes.
You have another sort of career as well.
Yeah.
How do you, you have lots of careers. You're
Lots
in the
of them, yeah.
You're in the National Guard. You're a sergeant. You go boss people around.
Pretty much.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
And then
yeah.
you come here, but then you have another career.
Which one? The Dapper Deadpool thing? Probably not.
No, I don't really know about that.
Well, I'll talk to you later about it.
Okay, but what about the cosplay stuff and the?
Oh yeah. So well, that's kind of part of it. I have a agency type thing where I manage a couple local cosplayers and some cosplayers that live in LA, and they're like cosplayer models, actors, things like that. So
you're an agent.
Yeah. I used to be an agent for like voice actors and things like that, but working here, I pulled back from it. Because you can't leave every single weekend to go, work conventions and things like that if you're, doing running the promotions department of the most popular radio station in Utah is what I say. But
well, that's what you should say.
Because
that is
the
true.
truth. Yeah. No, but we my job pretty much as an agent is getting them out and about. Getting them into shows, getting them appearances, things like that.
So you still do that?
Yeah, I do it on the side. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And these are cosplayers that people would know?
Yeah.
Like who?
So there's Larissa Page Cosplay. She's local. And then there's Des Creepcore. She's local.
Both great girls.
Yeah, Rachie Mack. She's a new up-and-comer, but she's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then another one, it's Michael. He lives in L.A. They're pretty good. And then actually I just brought on a band that's local too. They're pretty cool. Parkway Avenue. Yeah, these guys are pretty. They have like a 1975 vibe. They're pretty good.
Okay. Yeah. Are you married?
Nope.
Ever been married?
Yep. I was married once. Got rid of that.
Have any kids? Any kids?
No, I don't have any kids, but I have 20 nieces and nephews. So I think I'm the fun uncle.
Do you own any guns?
Oh yeah.
Being a military man, you own guns. Oh yeah. And being from Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, I think
you're
that
given
right
a
there.
rattle and a gun. Well, a knife when you're a kid. Then when you get 14, it's like it's like a quinceanera, but you get the.
Now Nick
you get a gun.
claims that he's been stabbed several times.
4.
Really?
4
To
times.
be exact. Shot twice. Yeah.
Now where were you shot?
Location or on my body?
No,
where was I shot?
location, not on your body.
Oh, okay. In Detroit.
In Detroit.
Yeah.
So
And then
nothing to do with the military.
One I was shot at overseas, and then once I was shot in Detroit. Yeah.
Just randomly?
Yep. Well, wrong place, wrong time. Yeah.
Okay, what part of your body were you shot on?
In the knee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You
Right
got
here.
lucky, didn't shatter it? Or
No, it grazed the side. I've got like a nice little gash, but yeah, it grazed the side of the knee.
And
That's
stabbed,
what happens when you run from the ball.
and stabbed because you were in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Yeah, we went down the wrong alleyway. So in Detroit, there's alleyways because there's like one-way streets, and then behind the houses is where like you pull your cars in and stuff, and
Put your garbage can.
and that's where the garbage cans go. Yep. Running home, trying to beat the streetlights home because that was my dad's rule. Be home before the streetlights come on, and then yeah. So just wrong place at the wrong time. Yep. So
Shot and stabbed.
I know, and that was before I joined the military.
That's exciting. Have you ever been told you resemble somebody famous?
Yeah. Ralph Macchio, I get a lot. Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay, yeah,
Without the
sure.
beard, I'd
No,
look,
but-
yeah.
Yeah, if you were
Yeah.
clean shaven, it would make it.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah,
Ralph
if you're not looking
Mm-hmm.
at Nick at x96.com/live, Nick has the kind of beard where he shaves and then he looks in the mirror and it's back.
Yeah, you ever seen Santa Claus? You know, with the part where Tim Allen shaves his beard off, looks at the mirror,
Yep.
wipes his face off, beard's back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I shaved this morning before I came in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Not quite, but it's that bad.
Yeah, it's about a week.
Kinsey in the chat room. Nick is trying to be my husband, I think. And someone who said, that is not funny. I'm from Detroit, and that is not true. And you are speaking stereotype.
Nope.
Sorry.
Just a camera.
Yep.
Nick is about as Detroit as you can be.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I promise.
All right. Traffic in Detroit.
It's great to have you
Traffic
here.
in Detroit, absolutely horrible. But traffic here in Utah, it's sufficient. Let's see. There's a crash northbound I-15 at milepost 282 in Lehigh. Let's see. There's another crash northbound I-15 in Draper. So be careful there. The left shoulder. It's on the left shoulder. Let's see. It looks pretty green except for where the crashes are. Point of the mountain, it's all red. Slowage. It says people are driving no faster than 30 miles an hour.
Jeez.
Let's see if friends of the program. Yeah, someone accident northbound just before 2100 in Lehigh. So yeah, that's it for traffic. So do you want improved vision without glasses and contacts? Choose LASIK. And choose Hoops Vision, Utah's LASIK leader. For phenomenal outcomes and experienced surgeons, call 877-30-LASIK or visit hoopsvision.com.
Right.
Here's something for you.
Yes.
Something for you to do that will be fun, I promise.
It's this weekend, right?
I believe so. Yes, it's Salt Lake Gaming Con. It's the 27th through the 29th at the Salt Palace Convention Center. Now, there will be esports, board games, Nerf battles, RPGs, and cosplay, and pinball. Lots and lots of pinball machines at Salt Lake Gaming Con.
They line them up like 30 or more of them, and they're free. You just go and play them.
You can play over 1,000 games for free at Gaming Con. Test your skills in tournaments for Mario Kart, Fortnite, Smash Brothers, and more. And Salt Lake Gaming Con will have huge exhibits from Microsoft, GameStop, and the U.S. Army. Because, those games are actually skills that you develop, and you can use them in the Army for flying drones and stuff like that.
They're actually bringing a trailer, the Army, that's where you can play all these cool like military type video games inside the trailer. Yeah, it's pretty
that's
sick.
cool.
So single-day passes start at just $20. 3-day passes just $40 for Salt Lake Gaming Con at the Salt Palace. You can get tickets and purchase info at saltlakegamingcon.com.
X9.
Nick, if you would please explain to people that you don't actually get handed a knife when you are born in Detroit, and they don't actually give you a gun at the age of 14 in Detroit.
You're perpetuating stereotypes here. You have made such a wave in the chat room.
Apparently,
there is a person in there who is convinced that you are telling people, and they will believe that this is absolutely true.
So they're worried that you're going to continue to make Detroit worse than it is.
No. Here's the thing. I think I should. Here, I'm going to make a sarcasm sign so that I can hold it up to the camera.
Well, it's radio, though. So this
it's radio. Well, when they can watch it on the internet.
So what about? I mean, you really did
Okay,
piss some people off.
Well, it's just this one person.
Yeah. Well, the thing is you do not. Let me make it clear. You don't actually get a knife and a gun when you're 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
The city of Detroit does not issue this to its citizens.
Yeah. You don't get it.
Because that would be foolish.
Well, what do you,
that would be absolutely foolish.
But wait a minute. But what do you really think about Detroit?
So I love Detroit. Okay. Now, growing up in Detroit, yes, there were scary times, and there were times where stereotypes are there for a reason, right? But they are rebuilding Detroit right now. And if you go back again, yeah, but this time it's gonna stick. I sound like a politician.
We mean it this
in
time.
Detroit, yeah. But no, like if you go back, they're actually rebuilding the city from the inside out. When I went back last year for the holidays to visit, downtown Detroit looks nothing like it did when I was a kid. So it's nice. It's nice there now. I mean, but every city has problems. I mean, Detroit is Detroit. Everybody knows it. It's funny when I tell people the stories of me getting stabbed and jumped and stuff like that, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Detroit." They go, "Oh, yeah, okay."
Well, Detroit. Well, somebody points out that Detroit has the what are those murder statistics? It's right here.
They're up there a bit.
The highest murder rate and
it's like the fourth highest or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
anyway, to make it clear,
you
do not get any weapons of any kind.
The city of Detroit does not issue
to you when you're 14.
When you are a baby.
How old do you? When do they finally give you your weapon?
16. No,
16.
I'm just kidding.
16. Okay.
That is okay.
Sarcasm.
But in the nursery schools, it is true that they play Kid Rock and Eminem to soothe the newborns. That is absolutely true about Detroit. No, that is completely and totally true.
I mean, your dad has made a career in radio in Detroit.
Yep.
Doing promotions for like big radio stations, group, and some of the most popular morning shows in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
And so people live there and they live normal lives just like
absolutely,
anywhere else.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had
even
fun.
if you are
friends.
of Cuban descent.
Puerto Rican.
Oh, Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
that's
it's okay.
right.
They're just feelings. They'll heal.
That's right. I forgot. It's even worse. It's Puerto Rican.
We're legal.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a couple of texts here. He says, this person who is worried about defending Detroit, don't worry. Politicians and elected officials have already beaten it to ruining Detroit.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Well,
also, I've seen RoboCop. Delta City will never happen. Is another text.
When the car industry, which was Detroit was so dependent on, when it fell apart, it just devastated the city.
Oh, it did. I mean, even still, you can when you're driving down, I-75. There's you see the old engine factories and all the stuff like that. They're abandoned, broken down. And it costs too much to either fix them up or clean them up. So now what they're doing, like I said, they're rebuilding from the inside out instead of the outside in. And
I remember years ago there was a downtown Detroit. They did some rebuilding, and there was the Renaissance Center. The Renaissance? Yeah, the Renaissance Center. It's still there. That's like the focal point now in Detroit. That's even part of the skyline.
Now I saw some photos of a whole section of I want to say downtown Detroit, but it was there. Of just abandoned homes and buildings, right? It was just empty, and it was all fenced off, The Geek Show guys came up with a way to help Detroit.
Oh, okay.
You turn that into a giant Walking Dead amusement park.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And you get actors in zombie costumes.
I think it already is.
Well, we'll turn it over to a corporation to make it friendly.
There you go.
But and have either paintball guns or something, and role play and all that.
I know a lot of haunted houses set up around some of the abandoned buildings down there. Yeah, But
be a great
that'd be,
idea.
yeah.
I mean, there were, and I don't know if it's still that way, but there were people who were saying, I can buy a house in Detroit, an old abandoned house in Detroit for, a $5,000.
Oh yeah, there was a time where, I mean, probably even now, depending where it's at, like how close to the outer skirts that they haven't touched yet.
Yeah.
There were points where you could buy a house for about $15,000. Yeah, and the lot is what people really wanted because you would just tear the house down.
Yeah, but you grew up. But see, you grew up in a normal family,
Yeah.
as normal as a radio family can be.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But
right.
with brothers and sisters and
Yeah.
and then you still have nieces and nephews, and you go visit, and it's home,
It is, yeah.
even though you hate it and don't ever want to go back.
No, I wouldn't say I hate it. I just mega loathe it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, like I said, I love being from Detroit, but moving back, probably not.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, unless we can get that zombie amusement park thing going.
Yeah.
Now we
Maybe
got
we'll get that
You'd be
started.
the guy that could do it.
we have a giveaway here.
Yes,
yeah.
we do.
Yeah, let's do
So
that.
you can handle that, can't you?
Yeah. So X96 welcomes the Deer Valley Concert Series to Snow Park Outdoor Amphitheater starting June 30th and going through September with bands like Michael Franti and Spearhead and Ziggy Marley. You do not want to miss these concerts. Purchase your tickets now at deervalley.com. And right now, if you text this keyword to 33986, you'll be entered in to win a pair of tickets to these concerts. The keyword is Aretha. Aretha. Like Aretha Franklin.
Queen of Soul.
Yeah, Queen of Soul.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick. We will get to round 2 of your boners coming up. Do you have the candidates there?
I do. They are boner candidate number 1. Good morning to everyone except this couple. Boner candidate number 2. I'm making pool filters. And number 3. Sports radio should be illegal.
Yes. All right. I can't express my bias when the voting comes. All right. I got to keep it fair. All right. We will take a break. We'll be back with round 1 of your boners, big boy news, innuendo, all that on the way.
I
Simply
used
Saline.
I used this morning. Simply
Yes.
Saline. My nose was stuffy for some reason.
Now, you
this
say it's
morning.
at the store?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find it at most.
Because I'm going to the
grocery
store
stores.
today, so I wanted to pick it up.
Look, or you can find it at certain, your Walgreens and your Rite Aids and your what's that other one that's come in now? The other big chain. Anyway, Rexall Drug. That's what
Sure,
it is.
that's
It's
it.
your Rexall drugstore. Simply Saline nasal spray. If for some reason, as I said, I was just a little congested this morning. My nose was stuffy. Little shot of saline and nasal spray and. Gone. Congestion's due to allergies, especially frustrating because you feel run down and tired, and it makes it hard to get anything done. Simply Saline nasal spray is 100%, 100%, not 100.
Wow.
100.
100% pure ingredients, just salt water, baking soda, and that's it. So no side effects, not habit forming, won't make you drowsy. If you want to find out more about it or where to buy it, go to simplysaline.com.
Oh, I forgot traffic. I forgot how to radio, Nick. Sorry.
It's okay. They're just feelings. All right. Want improved vision without glasses and contacts? Choose LASIK and choose Hoops Vision, Utah's LASIK leader. For phenomenal outcomes from experienced surgeons, call 877-30-LASIK or visit hoopsvision.com. There's a crash northbound I-15 in Linden, Utah County, on the right shoulder. Let's let that refresh. Looks like the slowages have led all the way up past Sandy into Murray, so be careful there. There's still that the crash in Lehigh on the right lane, so be careful for that. Let's see if the friends of the program texted anything in. Nope, not seeing
it's
anything.
all Aretha
Yep,
right
it's all
now, so-
Aretha. Yep.
All right, sorry about that. Okay, we'll get to round 1 of your boners, big boy news, or round 2 of your boners coming up. All right, remember that info. You're going to need it here in about 15 minutes to vote for round 2 of your boners. Presenting to you now 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst of these 3, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, it'll go up against the winner of round 1's voting. Round 1 happened an hour ago. We got that. Take both of those champions and put them into the Boner Dome at 9:20 this morning. That is when you will decide boner of the day. Right now, you're picking the champion for round 2, so choose wisely. The first contestant was a pretty good one. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you will vote, and one of you lucky random boner voters will receive.
So normally it's a hearty handshake from Bill, but I just got word, being the promotions director, that
You got prize?
I've got a prize.
What?
I've got a fancy prize. So you know how they're doing the re-release of Endgame?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've got 2 tickets to go see the re-release of Endgame that comes out this week.
All right.
This won't help beat Avatar because you're getting them for free, but still.
But still, well, somebody paid for it.
Yes.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Well, that's
Take 2 people with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, here's boner candidate number 1. Good morning to everyone, except this couple.
I'm glad you picked this one.
You saw it.
Yes.
And I'm just going to tell you who it is, and I'm going to read the post.
Do we have the post to put up on the TV here?
This is Allison Krogan.
Yes.
She is Fox 13 weather person, a very nice woman.
She's been on the show.
She's called us a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I just saw this post today. She posted on Twitter, "Good morning to everyone except this couple." And then here is the message she received via, I believe, her station email. Name, Tim. Subject, dress.
There it is, x96.com/live.
Message, my wife and I were watching the news this morning, 6:24, and she noticed that beside how amazing you looked in your dress, it appeared that your nipples were pierced. I don't think so. I didn't think so. Could you settle our bet?
Ah, Tim.
First off, Tim doesn't have a wife.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure, Tim.
I'm a little.
Oh my!
I'm a little. I would have said to Allison, I don't think I'd post that if I were you. I wouldn't, just because. But I think it's a brave move to do, and of course I agree with her sentiment. Good morning to everyone except this couple.
I think it's important to sometimes shine a light on this kind of behavior.
Well, anyway, Tim, you're boner candidate number 1, whoever you are, and your fictitious wife. Here's boner candidate number 2. I'm making pool filters. A Hialeah, Florida man was arrested early Friday after police seized 3 pounds of methamphetamine worth $25,000, which the man said was for filtering pools. Guillermo Arteaga was being held on $25,000 bail at the Volusia County Branch Jail. Mr. Arteaga was arrested after police stopped him for doing 80 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone and discovered an arrest warrant out of Palm Beach County, according to the report. When police conducted a vehicle inventory before Arteaga's car was towed, they found a black bag in the trunk that contained smaller vacuum-sealed bags with large quantities of an ice-like substance that tested positive for meth. According to police, Arteaga said, that meth is not for human consumption. It's for filtering swimming pools. Somehow.
Sure.
Boner candidate number 3. I'm making pool filters. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. Sports radio should be made illegal.
I don't know what this story is, but I can't wait. All right, we got boner candidate number 3 for round 2. Coming up after this, big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by...
When it comes to mortgage lending, call Rick at Vintage Lending. I'm going to see if I can do it like Bill. Where else you going to go? 16 years experience. Call Rick, 801-809-SAVE, or click loansbyrick.com.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so a funny, attention-grabbing 5-star review of Ryan Reynolds' booze brand was actually, as they say, ginned up by the actor himself. The review of Aviation Gin. Oh, I've drunk that. I didn't know it was his.
Yeah, he bought it.
He posted it under the fake name Champ Nightingale on Amazon and features a wild story about what happened after he downed too much of the stuff. As soon as I tried the Aviation Gin, I knew right away it was amazing. It was the smoothest gin I'd ever tried and went down really easily. I had a lot. When I woke up the next day, I mentioned to my wife, Linda, that last night must have been a real blowout because I slept in my clothes, even my shoes. I also noticed it was really hard to look out the window at the Seattle skyline, partially because of the bright sun. I've always been sensitive to light, but also because I don't live in Seattle. I live in Coral Gables, Florida. Also, it's important to note that until this morning, I'd never met anyone named Linda.
I drink a bit.
But the Deadpool star admitted the next day that the review was a spoof that he had written saying, I love this review of Aviation Gin someone sent me after I wrote it. The actor's mother, Tammy Stewart Reynolds, later commented, yes, I thought I heard my son's voice in that narrative.
Drunk again!
The star playfully shot back, Mom, you say that about every episode of CSI Miami.
What do you say you and me go out and get plastered?
The gin was first made by Portland bartender Ryan Magarian and distiller Christian Krogstad. Reynolds loved it so much he bought the company.
They should have known that he was going to do something like that. I mean, it's Ryan Reynolds. Besides being one of the greatest actors ever. But, yeah.
Well, I wonder if I could buy the Old Forester Bourbon Company.
Well, start saving your pennies, Bill. He did a whole series of video ads with Wolverine.
For
Hugh Jackman,
aviation,
yeah.
For aviation.
For Aviation Gin, yeah. It was a back and forth kind of a thing.
As the search for missing University of Utah student Mackenzie Lewick stretches past a week now, Salt Lake City police are trying to answer a number of questions, like does Mackenzie have an alternate phone that she has used or is using? Who did Mackenzie meet in North Salt Lake? Does Mackenzie have any social media accounts we don't know about? Said Assistant Salt Lake City Police Chief Tim Doubt. Another question police are trying to answer, does Mackenzie Lewick want to be found? She has no obligation to call the police department or anyone else and say, here I am, said former Salt Lake City Police Chief Chris Burbank. Burbank said in cases with children, cases with children are different. Law enforcement can automatically assume a child is in danger because they're not old enough to care for themselves. But with adults, going off the grid can be a personal choice. Burbank said the challenge for investigators is balancing Lewick's right to privacy and with her family's concern. Because of that balance, he said, the investigation initially starts in public spaces like Facebook posts, comments to friends, but as the investigation unfolds, it may be necessary to get search warrants to push into more personal areas of her life. In this circumstance, wouldn't it be tragic if this young woman is in fact in danger and we didn't do enough, Burbank said. Salt Lake City police have a tip line for information on Mackenzie's disappearance. It is 801-799-4420. Community support has helped Lizzie Shelley's family get through their grief. We appreciate everyone who's been helping to bring justice to Lizzie, said her grandfather, Norman Black. And that's found inside of a courtroom where Shelley's uncle, Alex Whipple, appeared for a routine court matter on Monday. He's accused of murdering the 5-year-old girl who in late May was kidnapped from her home. Authorities have agreed not to pursue the death penalty in that case, and they did that so that he would tell them where the body was.
Yeah.
Lizzie's grandfather said that her death has hit the family very hard. We appreciate what everybody's doing for us as a family, Mr. Black said. Of course, it's a hard process to go through. Salt Lake City mayoral candidates.
All right.
Most of the action, they say, that's needed around gun reform and school safety initiatives in Salt Lake City has to come from state lawmakers and the federal government, but mayoral hopefuls promised that they would work to engage youth voices at City Hall and would lead the charge on issues primarily impacting that demographic if elected. I believe it is part of the responsibility of an elected person to bring along the next generation and get them in the rooms where the decisions are being made, said former State Senator Jim Debacus. Debacus, who poll shows is the early frontrunner among a slate of 8 candidates ahead of August's primary election, pledged also to sit down with city's chief of police if elected to ensure resource officers in Salt Lake City schools are the best of the best. But as far as gun violence goes, Debacus and the other candidates say it's really important for young people to get involved in this conversation because they're the ones that will finally affect the change that's needed. This is an odd story. A British court has ordered, I've had this for a couple of days, has ordered an abortion. The court has ordered an abortion.
What?
For a mentally disabled woman against her and her mother's wishes, with the judge calling the decision heartbreaking but in the best interests of the woman, who is 22 weeks pregnant. The unidentified woman who lives in London is in her 20s and has the mental capacity of a 6 to 9-year-old child, according to evidence presented Friday at the court in London. The circumstances of the pregnancy were unclear, the court was told, and a police investigation was underway, according to news reports. The decision was first revealed by the Press Association and other British news media, including the Catholic News Agency. The woman and her family were not identified. Neither her family nor her lawyers could be reached for comment, but a spokesperson for the court said that, yes, it is true. The court has ordered this. Justice Natalie Levine handed down the decision of the Court of Protection, which hears cases on issues relating to people who are considered to lack mental capacity to make decisions for themselves. So they, cross-examined this young woman and said she's not mentally fit to have a child, and so they've ordered an abortion. Somebody smashed into Bob Barker's house with a car.
The hell?
Yeah. It's not the right way to come on down, is it?
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh.
The legendary, hey, listen, I'm only as good as my material. It's written for me in the news here. The legendary Price is Right host's manager tells TMZ the crash went down Tuesday outside of Bob Barker's Hollywood Hills home. The vehicle slammed into the perimeter wall. He's got a compound.
Yeah.
But didn't get close to the house of the 95-year-old former game show host. No, Bob was safely inside with hot milk and cookies. Law enforcement sources say that the car was involved in a collision on the street and the impact sent it flying into Bob Barker's wall. But everybody's okay. No injuries, but the vehicles were pretty trashed. The walls were trashed. But then Bob said, why don't you all come in and you'll help me spay or neuter a pet?
Yeah.
People are suspecting that it is Happy Gilmore getting revenge.
Yep.
Could be.
Have your pet spayed and neutered.
Yes. Is that it?
You got time for one more story?
Let me find one more sort of off the grid story here for you. This is a sort of an interesting state of affairs. A school that refused to fire a gay teacher.
Okay. Refused to fire a gay teacher, as ordered by the Archdiocese of Indianapolis. Well.
So that tells you it's a Catholic-sponsored school.
Yes.
Says it has been told by Catholic Church officials that it will no longer be recognized as a Catholic school. But school teachers pledged to keep the institution's religious identification. Well, the Catholic Church may say we're not a Catholic school, but we're going to keep identifying ourselves as Catholic. The Archdiocese announced in a statement that it would no longer recognize Brebeuf Jesuit Preparatory School, an independently operated school, because it's not insisting that all employees be supportive of all teachings of the Catholic Church. The church is against homosexual activity. A statement by the Reverend Brian G. Paulson, who heads the Midwest Province of Jesuits, said the Archdiocese told Brebeuf Jesuit Preparatory 2 years ago not to renew the contract of a teacher whose marital status does not conform to church doctrine. He also said that the decision to be formalized in a church decree would be appealed. So leaders of this Jesuit school posted an open letter to the community in Indianapolis saying the Archdiocese had directly inserted itself into school governance and it is unprecedented and it will not do what the Archbishop says they should do because this is a good teacher. Now, he only became known as a gay teacher when somebody saw a post on a social media that he had married a man.
So he wasn't, flaunting it in front of people.
No. But the Catholic Church insisted that he be fired.
Because that's what Jesus would do.
Yeah. But the school's standing by him.
Jesus didn't say anything about homosexuals.
No, he did not.
Sorry.
No. All right, that's it.
All right.
Weather and traffic.
Well, you can do sports too if you want, if you have anything.
Well, I don't want to say the wrong person got traded anymore. So
Yeah.
So weather. So at Snowbird, there is no off season. With tram rides, hiking, and activities at the base, there are plenty of ways to take summer head on. Jumpstart your summer at snowbird.com. Right now, it's 69 degrees outside, mostly cloudy. The high is supposed to be 90. And for you, Bill, the UV index went up to 1.
Oh.
It's up to 1 now.
Yeah, it's up to 1 now.
1, okay.
Okay.
All right, traffic.
I got to go to my desk and get my sunscreen.
All right, traffic. Let's see. There was a crash at US 89 in Kaysville. It's in the median. There's another crash in Lehigh. Let's see. Oh, come on, upload. Thank you, Internet. Okay, here we go. So, looks like in South Salt Lake, a lot of slowage, less than 30 miles an hour. So, be careful there. And then Point of the Mountain actually cleared up, so it's pretty green. If you guys see anything, text it to us, 33986. But yeah, besides that, traffic looks pretty good.
Thank you very much.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3. Sports radio should be made illegal.
Okay.
This is from the Deadspin website,
Okay.
deadspin.com. A low-life Kansas City radio host.
Well, let's start there.
Well, they don't pull any punches.
Deadspin.
In Deadspin.
That's not news.
Invoked 2012 death of Andy Reid's son, Garrett. Now, Andy Reid is the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs for a long time.
Okay, and his son died?
His son died as part of an overarching criticism of Reid's approach to personal accountability. In yet another sign, it says here that sports radio should be made illegal immediately. Kevin Keitzman is the host of Between the Lines, an afternoon radio show on Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City. The segment in question, Monday afternoon, was on the possible return of Tyreek Hill to the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yahoo Sports reported Monday that Hill could potentially return to the Chiefs by the start of training camp. It's Keitzman's feeling, that's the radio host, that the Chiefs are ill-equipped to handle Mr. Hill's return to the NFL and cited among his evidence that Andy Reid was not real great at discipline. The reference here is to Reid's eldest son, Garrett, who died of a heroin overdose in 2012 at Philadelphia Eagles training camp. Now, Keitzman stops just short of blaming Andy Reid for his son Garrett's death, but implies that the same difficulties with accountability that he's observed in Reid's coaching also did not work out particularly well in his family life, did it?
What an ass.
Needless to say, Garrett's drug abuse and death are completely irrelevant to any sane conversation about Andy Reid's coaching ability, and any connection drawn between the two is wildly irresponsible, to put it mildly.
Wow.
Keitzman, in addition to his sportscasting responsibilities, is listed as 810 WHB's vice sports radio on the company's directory, vice president sports radio on the company's directory, making it unlikely that discipline for this ugly segment will come from anywhere above. Keitzman eventually did get around to acknowledging the backlash to his commentary, which was extensive. But instead of apologizing, Keitzman is focusing on a handy little straw man argument that he's been accused of blaming Reid directly for his son's death and is scolding those responsible for making that accusation.
Wow.
Boner candidate number 3, sports radio should be made illegal.
I hear stuff like this and it just, I mean, I already hate the business that we're in anyway and the people in it. But then it gets to this whole sports culture. It just, I don't get it. All right. Let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1 is good morning to everyone except this couple. Just leave Allison Krogan alone, okay, at Fox 13. She's a fine person. She's a charming person, and don't send her messages about and asking her if she has pierced nipples.
Now, again, it's not Allison being nominated.
No.
It's the person who wrote the letter, because I know that someone
Tim.
will tell her because she's not listening.
Yep.
You know, someone will tell her, hey, you were nominated for the boner. No.
No.
It's the letter writer.
Boner candidate number 2, Megan Pool filters. Man claiming his 3 pounds of meth was for pool filters. And boner candidate number 3, sports radio should be made illegal.
All right, here we go. This is round 2 of your boner voting. You've got to decide of these 2 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. It'll go up against, if it wins here, it'll go up against winner of round 1. Pretty good candidate. We did that an hour ago. But we'll take both of these winners and throw them into Boner Dome at 9:20. That's when you'll decide boner of the day. So right now, pick your champion for round 2. Pick a good one. 1, 2, or 3. Remember the candidate number, the one you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then text it to 33986. Or you can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Katie will take your vote in the producer's booth. Or go to x96.com. Look for the box. It says Boner Voting June 25 and vote there. All right, you got less than 300 seconds. Let's go. This is round 2.
When Carrie, Bill, and
The Utah word of the day, y'all award the boner for round 2.
And it's brought to you in part by
So
ramen.
Ramen, yeah.
And
Craving Good Food.
Yeah.
Campos Coffee Roastery and Kitchen serves outstanding food with a focus on light and fresh ingredients. Located at 228 South Edison. Online at camposcoffee.com.
So, boner candidate number 1 was good morning to everyone, except this couple. Allison Krogan, Fox 13 weather person. She posted this. Somebody sent her a message, guy named Tim, about the dress she was wearing on TV. It said, my wife and I were watching the news this morning, and she noticed that besides how amazing you looked in your dress, it appeared that your nipples were pierced. I didn't think so. Could you settle our bet? Just leave Allison alone, okay? Boner candidate number 2. And by the way, it's Tim who's the boner candidate in that one, not Allison. Boner candidate number 2, making pool filters. It's a guy who claimed that his 3 pounds of meth that the cops caught him with was for filtering pools. And boner candidate number 3, sports radio should be made illegal. A Kansas City radio. It's a term I'm not familiar with, so I'm not sure I should say it. Chud?
I don't know.
I don't know. It says here, a Kansas City radio chud.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the things that live in the sewers.
Oh, like the movie.
Yeah.
Chud.
I can't remember what it stands for, but it's a creature
like,
that lives in the
it's something human, yeah.
Look it up.
Andy Reid's dead son, dragging Andy Reid's dead son into criticism of Andy Reid's coaching of the Kansas City Chiefs. Alex won tickets to go see Endgame. And the winner, number 3, sports radio should be made illegal.
There you go. That is the winner of round 2's voting. And it now qualifies to be boner of the day. It's the winner of round 2. It's got to defeat the winner of round 1's voting.
Yeah.
So we'll do that at 9:20. We'll throw them both into the boner dome and let them duke it out for supremacy. At 9:20 is when boner of the day is decided.
Just looking up chud.
You want to know what it stands for?
Look that up.
Yeah. Do you have
Yeah, I got
cannibalistic humanoid
Yeah.
underground dwellers?
There you go. That's what the chud is.
Yeah.
Katie, would you come in and try to find this for me? I can't find it. The Utah word.
Do you want to tell us about your rat?
Yeah. So Sunday morning, there you go. There's your mouse. Sunday morning.
He has a rat. You just have a mouse.
Well, let me back up. Saturday night, we're sitting out on the porch with some friends, and one of our friends, Bry, said he saw a critter. He wasn't being specific, and I know why. Because my wife has let it be known that there is no way that she will live in a house near rats, let alone.
Well, then she shouldn't be living anywhere because they are
everywhere. But yeah, so we're in the back porch and look over, and Bry says, "I just saw a critter." Was not specific because he knows how she feels. Yeah. And that was that. So Sunday morning we wake up. Morning's going fine. Everything's good. Making coffee, the whole thing. And then I hear Sue screaming.
Oh,
jeez.
Uh-oh.
And I come into the kitchen and she's looking out the back window. And I run to the window to see my 2 dogs in a tug-of-war.
Really?
With a rat.
Was it still alive?
The rat was wounded.
Oh.
So I go running out there, and it's like, get inside, get inside, get inside. And
so we got a couple of little ratters.
So we close the doggy door. Sue immediately brushes their teeth and cleans their faces.
Yeah.
So she can, get loves. And so I'm now rat patrol. So the rat's lying there, and it's wounded. And and I'm like, it's still alive. But I look at it, and it looks pretty bad. So I figure I'll leave it alone for a half hour, and it'll die. Yeah. And then I'll, get a sack and pick it up. Go back out a half hour later. It's actually looking a little better. Wow. It's rolled over on its belly. It's still not walking because I think its legs are broken.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
And
I feel bad for the poor rat.
I do too, but and then I'm like, I'm going to have to dispatch the rat, aren't I? I'm going to have to, because it's in pain, it's suffering. It's
Go get your gun.
so
Or
I
just
went,
wait for 4 turtles to show up.
Yeah, so I went and I got my Daisy Red Ryder BB gun.
Oh, shoot your eye out.
Well, I cocked it and put it right to its head. And I had to dispatch the rat. And even then, I couldn't pick it up right away. Like, I'm going to let it. I'll be back in a bit. And so I come back like 20 minutes later, and it was starting to stiffen up already. That was pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
But end of the story is Sue is putting our house up for sale. And
Truly? Some people would.
what she doesn't know is that I've been keeping this secret from her ever since we moved there. I mean, it is the mountain.
Yeah.
It's happening. Now, our Artie, our original dog, was never curious about exploring the backyard. He wasn't interested in getting into the shrubs or the trees or anything, so I was able to put, like, traps out there and I took care of the rat problem for quite a while. But now I have curious dogs, and I can't do that because Ripley will...
They'll get in the trap.
Ripley will find the trap, and so I don't need that. But, yeah, Hudson was high on adrenaline for the rest of the... Rest of the day.
Killer.
Oh, he just did that stirred something in him.
You should have seen my cat with a beetle yesterday. Man, did that cat go to town. A killer. Little beetle.
I'm sorry. We ran out of time for word of the day. We'll get it coming up. All right?
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll do that coming up. Stand by. Traffic. Our last check of traffic, Sarge, please.
All right, traffic. Let's see. Here we go. So, want improved vision without glasses and contacts? Choose LASIK and choose Hoops Vision, Utah's LASIK leader. For phenomenal outcomes from experienced surgeons, call 877-30-LASIK or visit hoopsvision.com. All right. Looks like there's a crash at US 89 in Kaysville. And, yeah, slowage in Salt Lake City between coming from West Jordan. Looks like on the northbound side of I-15. And then we got some slowage down in Draper. But besides that, it's nice and green. So stay safe out there.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We will take a break, and we will be back. Todd will be here with Tuesday Tunes with Todd. Stand by for that. All coming up. Let's see. Oh, Haster Games. Got to tell you about Haster Games. They have been at 6831 South State for quite some time now. They're one of the original gaming stores in town, but they've done some remodeling recently. They're sprucing up the place.
Yeah.
6831 South State. If you love to play games, especially board games like Magic, Pokemon, things like that. Magic the Gathering is what I'm talking about. You're going to love Haster Games in Midvale. And if you're curious about these games, go in. They will open up. They've got a library of like 300 games that they will open up and teach you how to play and walk you through it. They do have tutorial videos on their website, hastergames.com, but it's so much better to have someone sitting there with you to talk you through and explain to you how these games work. And they may seem intimidating, but once you get someone good explaining the games to you, you realize they're not. Here's what's new at Haster. Magic the Gathering Two-Headed Giant Commander Tournament is happening on June 29th.
Wait a minute.
I just love the names, man.
Just rolls right off the tongue.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pokemon Unified Minds pre-release is happening on July 23rd and 27th. Magic the Gathering Core Set 2020, the pre-release on that is July 5th through the 7th. Upcoming releases, Dungeons & Dragons Acquisitions Incorporated on June 18th. Magic the Gathering Signature Spellbook, Gideon, on June 28th. Magic the Gathering Core Set 2020 comes out July 12th. Pre-orders are only $94.99. Plus, the Stranger Things D&D adventure is now available. You can play the D&D game that Mike Wheeler and those guys played at the beginning of Stranger Things, and you can play as their characters. Don't forget, they will buy your used games as long as they're in decent condition, have all the pieces, that kind of thing. Haster Games, 6831 South State. They're open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, noon to 5 on Sundays.
You could spend July 4th lighting those lame snake fire.
Okay, 9:05.
Look who's here.
Oh, hi, Todd.
Tuesday turns with Todd on Next 96. Ready for mail.
It's always a treat when Todd Newcomb joins us here in the studio on a Tuesday for a Tuesday Tune with Todd.
Indeed.
And when he's not here, he's doing other stuff. So
lots and lots of other stuff in
lots
this
of other
building.
stuff.
Yes.
So, Todd, what song have you selected for us and why?
All right, so today it's another cover. There are a lot of covers happening right now.
This is a cover. Okay.
So it's a cover. It's a cover of Doin' Time, as originally done by Sublime, but Lana Del Rey covered it, and it's from. There's this documentary about the band Sublime that was at the Tribeca Film Festival that's out there now. So,
Oh, really?
And this was featured. I guess there are a bunch of different artists that do some covers of Sublime songs for this project, and it's Lana Del Rey covering Doin' Time. Now, Lana Del Rey has her own big audience and big following.
Yeah.
So she's established, not necessarily a radio artist, if you know what I mean. Like she hasn't like given us, the verse, chorus, verse, catchy number one hit song.
Right.
And I don't think she wants to, which is great. You got to respect an artist that does what she wants. But this is cool. I like her take on this song. It's kind of dreamy and I don't know, kind of fun.
Do you know of the other tracks on that?
I do not.
The remakes?
No,
Maybe
there's
some I'll have
there
to
are a
look
few,
up.
and I don't know. I was trying to find more information about the Sublime documentary if it's going to be out there. I'm sure it is in this day and age. It'll
Tell you
show
what.
up somewhere.
Yeah.
But this,
Sarge, Google while we are listening to the song.
Okay, so this is Sublime covering.
No, this is Lana Del
This
Rey
is
covering.
Lana Del Rey covering Sublime. Okay.
Yeah. And the song Doing Time. It's Tuesday Tunes with Todd, X96.
Yes.
What?
This morning when we got here and I was putting the log together, I said to Nick, "Oh, Todd's playing a Lana Del Rey song for Tuesday Tunes. I wonder how that will go over."
Yeah.
I'm looking in the texts of the chats, and I'm totally wrong. People are loving this. People love it.
It's Africa 2019.
Yep.
As a matter of
the
fact,
big cover song of the summer.
She's doing a cover of Africa.
She's going to do some more. She's going to do the rest of the
No, she's-
Toto album.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing a cover of Toto or Weezer
I look
And
forward
doing
to that.
Africa.
And it's good. How convenient that she's releasing that song at the beginning of summer.
I mean, it's perfect timing. It's a great summer song. It was a great summer song back in the 90s, and it's going to do it again. But
Well,
it is kind of cool. Like, her voice, like, she's an amazing vocalist, and I like her spin on it. It's a bit darker of a vibe on
more-
the track, and I don't know. I think it's cool. And you can sing along with it instantly because we've had that song pounded into our heads for the last 25 years.
Yeah. I enjoy hearing a different version of it. I'll be quite honest with you. Well, there you go.
So we're one step closer for the alternative format to just be entirely filled with covers.
That could happen.
It could happen. Did you find the documentary and?
So it's just on they're just talking about its reviews and stuff for the Tribeca Film Festival.
Okay,
It's
so
not
it-
actually out anywhere yet.
Probably be released eventually.
It'll
Yeah.
show up on Netflix or something. I'm
Probably
sure.
YouTube first.
Did you find any of the other songs on it? I'm curious as to who remakes what.
No, right now it's just her that
Just
they're
her.
The
featuring.
rest, the rest
Anytime
of
you
them are
type,
done by Weezer.
yeah, her and Weezer, they did the whole thing.
All right.
Yeah, because if you type in Sublime documentary, it just pulls up Lana Del Rey
right.
covering the Summertime.
Yeah, I'm curious about the other artists. Anyway, we'll find out eventually. Well, that was very interesting, Todd. Thank you for
Cool.
bringing that. I like it when you find little nuggets like that. All right, thank you.
Tuesday Turns with Todd on X96. Rant from
How
hell.
would anybody make a documentary about Sublime?
Oh,
That's
an interesting story.
Is it?
Yeah.
I never cared for them after that song. That what's the name of the song we play all the time?
Wrong way.
Wrong way. Because I just dislike that song. I just like the message of it and everything. You know.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, they were a thing, and then the singer passed
singer
away,
died,
and,
yeah.
and
It's a story.
it's a Southern California thing. So I got to be back here tomorrow with you guys.
Yes.
6 a.m. What time did you wake up, Sarge?
Like 4. But I'm used to waking up there
No,
early.
I have to get up early and consume coffee before I can even function. So
Me
I'll
too.
get
I get up
super
at
early.
3.
We're up
because
at
of that.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably be around that same time.
All right. Thank
You
you.
need us to call you?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Good.
I'll text you.
Bust you a wake-up call. All right, thank you, Todd. We'll see you in the meeting later as well. All right, we got Boner Fight coming up to determine who is Boner of the Day. Stand by.
X96 wants to send you to Vegas.
apply.
Well, it's 9:23.
Yes.
We have Boner Fight coming up here in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
So before we get to Boner Fight, a very small amount of news.
All right.
Brought to you by.
At Snowbird, there's no off season. All right, with tram rides, hiking, and activities at the base, there are plenty of ways to take summer head on. Jumpstart your summer at snowbird.com.
The champ of Jeopardy, the most recent one, James Holzhauer, was invited to be in the World Series of Poker.
Oh.
And he was.
Well, that's what he does for reals, right?
Well, he was an online poker player.
Oh, okay.
Holzer finished 454th
Ooh.
among more than 1,800 entrants in the No Limit Hold'em event. Buy-in was $1,500. Holzhauer did not reach the top 281 finishers who will win some shares of the $2.5 million prize money. Holzhauer moved to his second poker event of the day to play with Poker Hall of Famer Mike Sexton. He is very good. In a $1,000 buy-in tag team No Limit Hold'em tournament, Sexton will play for both of them. So I don't know what Holzhauer is doing. He told tournament officials that he plans to donate half of any winnings to a Las Vegas nonprofit for homeless, displaced, and disadvantaged high school students called Project 150. Holzhauer played online poker semi-professionally in the early 2000s, but he makes his living now with sports betting. He became a celebrity, of course, winning 32 consecutive Jeopardy games. That's pretty good. Let's see. Now there's been a train derailment. Don't have any details on it in one of the Jordans, West Jordan, UTA passenger train. So I guess that'd be front runner. Derailed in West Jordan this morning. Don't know what it just says. It's a breaking story, and that's all the information we have about that.
Oh.
Thousands of people have been arrested for driving under the influence in Utah during the first quarter of the year. Thousands.
Yeah.
According to new numbers released by the Utah Highway Patrol, 2,713 people have been arrested for a DUI between January 1st and March 31st.
What's the difference?
Utah's new .05 DUI law went into effect in January.
Yeah.
35 people were arrested under the new law. They all had blood alcohol levels between .05 and .079. But 59 of those people were under the age of 21, 27, were alcohol-restricted drivers. So the majority of those arrests are still people with blood alcohol limits way over the old limit.
Over the old limit.
Yeah. So you could say that it's had a negligible effect, although they say that the number of crashes has gone down. And they're maybe trying to attribute. I don't know if you can attribute that to that or not, but that's what they're kind of trying to do.
I know what it's done for our family. Lyft is happy.
I know what it's done for Lyft, yeah.
Yeah, we will take Lyft if we're just going to dinner.
No chances.
Yeah, we're not taking any chances.
Donald Trump, when confronted with accusations of rape by E. Jean Carroll, who said the president assaulted her many years ago in a dressing room at a department store. Trump said that now E. Jean Carroll has a book coming out. We should make that clear. Called the Why Do We Need Men? I think is the name of it. He says of Ms. Carroll, she's totally lying. I don't know anything about her. I know nothing about this woman. I know nothing about her. She is, well, it's just terrible that people can lie and make statements like that. And no, number one, she's not my type. So that's an indication that if you would rape someone if they were your type.
If they were your type. Yeah.
And
this is the 22nd woman.
Yeah.
Who has made the accusation against Donald Trump.
She said this happened in early 95, late 95 or early 96.
And anybody who says, well, they're doing it for fame. Oh, really? You really want to be that kind of famous, getting your life threatened? And,
The White House is directing Kellyanne Conway, the president's counselor, to reject a request to testify before a House committee about her repeated violations of a federal ethics law that bars government officials from engaging in political activities at work further escalating a standoff between Congress and the Trump administration over oversight requests.
I'd just like to remind the GOP that what goes around comes around.
Well,
when it's a Democratic president, and if one of our guys doesn't want to answer your questions, don't bitch, because you didn't do a damn thing this time.
None of the stonewalling that goes on is just incredible.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
It's Boner Fight. With Radio from Hell on X96.
It's the winner from round one, creeping its way up through the mists of time from the 7 o'clock hour to present itself as boner candidate number one. My feathers weren't bothering anyone. A Navajo student at Lehigh, I believe, high school, who had eagle feathers clipped to her graduation cap, was told, no, you take those feathers off of there or you can't walk in the graduation line because, feathers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Eagle feathers that are sacred to her. She wanted to, show a little touch of her Native American heritage. But no, you can't do that. Going up against the winner from round two, sports radio should be made illegal. Kansas City radio chud dragging Andy Reid's dead son into criticism of Andy Reid's coaching of the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's number two.
All right, there you go. You've got to decide of these two candidates which one is the worst, which one should be boner of the day. Oh, you can go online at x96.com, look for the box that says Boner Fight June 25, 2019, and vote there. There's also links so you can read the stories if you just can't decide. If you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. If you want to vote via text, put the number of the candidate that you think should win in the message of a text, and then send that to 33986. Or you can call Katie in the producer's booth and tell her with your voice. 877-602-9696. All right, you've got about 300 seconds to do it, so let's go. This is Boner Fight, Boner of the Day.
The Kansas City radio chud dragging Andy Reid's dead son, a son who died of a heroin overdose, into criticism of Andy Reid's coaching of the Kansas City Chiefs. What a lowlife.
Yeah.
Right.
And the winner. They both got substantial votes.
Oh, they did.
But number one, my feathers weren't bothering anybody, wins boner of the day.
All right. It's Boner of the Day for today, which is June 25th, 2019. Now qualified to be Boner of the Week.
Beer, and more beer.
Yes.
Utah seems to have a new beer distillery, a brewing facility pop up every, 2 weeks or something like that?
Currently, that's great.
Yeah, this is Jeremy Worrell and Ellie Lewis. They are with Proper and Uinta, respectively, but here on behalf of the Utah Brewers Guild.
Hooray, beer!
Do all of the independent breweries belong to the Utah Brewers Guild?
I believe so.
It says there are 33 of them.
Yeah, we actually have membership from a couple breweries that aren't in operation as well. I think pretty much everyone, though.
Okay, so that would be unless one opened since we started talking,
which is possible.
One might
which
have
is
opened.
quite possible.
Yeah, I think it's just right down the street. Down Granary Row.
It is amazing, but Carrie and I have remarked on this before. When Squatters opened, in 1989, we did commercials for them right from the beginning with Jeff and Peter. We would sit over there in that restaurant and record commercials with Jeff and Peter, and it was the only thing of its kind in Salt Lake. There was Wasatch up in
Park,
but that was it. And now, what happened?
Just exploded.
Just the last, what'd you say, last 3 to 4 years probably is when
Oh,
it
yeah.
really started popping up. I mean, I've been at Uinta almost 5 years now, and I mean, I think it's probably more than doubled just in my time, and I'm by no means like a seasoned veteran, but
That's just
especially when you
incredible.
talk about that 1989.
So, but we're here to talk about this Brew Fest, the Utah Brewers Guild Festival that's coming up. When is it exactly?
It's Saturday, June 29th at McCarthy Plaza on Regent Street, so it's right behind the Eccles Theater, right next to the everyone's favorite chicken spot.
The chicken sandwich store.
Pretty Bird.
I love that. I love it there.
They're delicious. And how many brewers will be represented? Will they? Most of them be there?
I believe so. I think we're sitting at 28 breweries that are currently registered, and I think a number of other breweries who are in planning will also be there tabling to kind of talk about their brands.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I assume this is people can come and sample the beer.
Yeah, what's cool about this? So we've got 2 different tickets. You can find it at utahbrewersguild.org. We've got VIP tickets. Those are $45. You get in an hour early. General admission is $30, and you get 12 samples on that. So we're not doing it parts and labor. You do get 12 pours with your ticket. You can re-up if you'd like. And yeah.
Well. I'm gonna re-up.
There's but what else is cool is that all of the participating breweries got together and did collaboration beers with other breweries.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
so
interesting.
we've got as of now we've got 14 collaboration beers.
Have they given them fancy names?
Of course they have. We've got so my 2 favorites, so Saltfire and Squatters. Created There's Only Room in This Town for One Key Lime Milkshake IPA.
What?
And then Ketos and Roosters up in Ogden created the We Can Teach You, But We'd Have to Charge Key Lime Milkshake IPA. So we've got a battle of the Key Lime Milkshake IPAs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you just enjoy beer, this will be fun. But if you're a beer nerd, you're really going to love this.
Yeah, because
your
all of these
Comic-Con.
beers are exclusive to the festival. This is the only place where you can have these beers. I mean, it's just kind of the spirit of the Utah Brewers Guild.
That's
the
great.
collaboration.
I had that Saltfire beer for the first time at Pine Beer Day this last year, and I really liked that beer. I don't know which one of them that they do that I like so much, but it was great. So this is on the 29th?
It's this Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
This weekend.
Oh, this is June, isn't it?
Yeah. Welcome
Might
to
be.
it.
It's staring us down.
Yeah.
You're thinking about your vacation.
I am. That's the day I leave for vacation, unfortunately.
Oh.
So it's what time does it start?
We are so VIP starts at 1:00 and general admission starts at 2.
Okay, and it's behind the Eccles, and the best place for people to find out more and get tickets.
That is utahbrewersguild.org.
Music. Will there be music?
There will be music. There will be food trucks.
Yeah.
There will be
Face
what else are we
painting for the
doing?
kids?
No kids.
This one's a 21 and up event. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
sorry kiddos.
Can't bring the children.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like fun. You're going to have good weather, too.
Yeah.
We should point out, you said you have to cap it at 1,000 people, so 1,000 tickets. Those will go pretty fast if they haven't already gone.
VIP
pretty fast.
tickets have gone real fast. We're almost out of those. Grab your GA tickets.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's this Saturday, UtahBrewersGuild.org. Thank you, Ellie, and thank you, Jeremy.
Hey,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Sounds like a good time. Good luck. I think it'll be a success. All right, we'll take a break. We will be back. Stand by. FanX is on its way. Visit fanxsaltlake.com for all the details. And here is the offer. They have extended their biggest discount to X96 listeners. Right now through June 30th, you can save 35% on your FanX passes. Here's how. Visit fanxsaltlake.com. Enter promo code FANX96 at checkout. It's that easy. You'll save 35% off of full price. So you can get your tickets to the Ultimate Pop Culture and Comic Convention. Of course, the celebrities that will be there, Kiefer Sutherland will be there. We've got, let's see, Christina Ricci canceled.
Is she being replaced by somebody?
Scheduling conflict.
Scheduling conflict, but Christina Ricci is available.
Oh,
so
good. Her stunt double. That's great.
She'll be there. Dolph Lundgren going to be there. Jason Patrick from Lost Boys. Matthew Lewis from Harry Potter. Many, many more to be announced. They haven't even announced the full lineup yet. So FanX is happening September 5th through the 7th at the Salt Palace. But remember, this deal that we're talking about, it only goes through June 30th. So get your pass now. Save 35% when you enter the promo code FANX96 at checkout. Visit fanxsaltlake.com forward. Now, we had the person who wrote to Allison Krogan, the weather person at Fox 13, as a candidate for a boner today.
Right.
And this person wrote a letter to Allison asking if she has her nipples pierced.
My wife and I were watching TV, watching you do the weather. My wife said that you looked great in that dress, but it looked like you had pierced nipples. I said, I don't think so. Can you settle the argument?
Yeah. So that the person who wrote that was a boner.
Yes.
Wow.
I get the feeling that if we were to contact Allison every day, that we would have a different candidate. Every day.
Oh, I bet.
Uh-oh.
She just posted another one. You look fat in blue. You look great when you're perky. I don't care what the fun haters say. Someone named Kelly Leftwich sent her this. And
That's Tim's wife.
Allison then said, why would you ever write this to a stranger?
Yeah,
And Kelly replied, you do look fat in blue. Sorry, I say what people think, not a ass kisser. You do have a couple of things going for you. Get rid of blue or don't. I'm telling you the truth. Blue is not your color. You're too much for some. Me, I am too. Yeah. Take your comment for an example. Calm down, neighbor. You'll find a millionaire and quit for better pay. You're not married because you're still digging for gold.
Jeez.
Wow.
By the way, I watched Channel 2, just happened to catch the dress. It fits snugly like you didn't know that men have radar and men's wives. Young and dumb, you'll break a few hearts until you get a wallet full of credit cards.
What?
Can you believe this?
It's, I know, I talked to Hope Woodside about this a lot at a certain time, and she said you can't, she said it's pretty much every day.
Yeah.
It's because you're a woman on TV.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all that matters. Is you're a woman on TV, and guys think that they're entitled to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Dumb.
It just shocks me. And
you know what? It doesn't shock me at all.
Well, I mean, it does, but it doesn't. I just can't believe, here we are, 2019, and male toxicity is just still a problem.
Wow.
You know why?
Why?
Men are awful.
Yeah, they are.
They really are.
They don't have to be.
Essentially,
That's the thing.
they're
They
awful.
don't have to be. They can evolve.
Well, I've seen no evidence of that, or very little evidence of it.
I mean, when I look, I'll use Geek Show as an example. When we started and where we are now, there's been a massive evolution.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's we're 11 years in, but I began to see the evolution 4 or 5 years into it, and if we can do it, well, I don't know if y'all can. Now that I think about it,
I don't know.
It just blows me away. Anyway,
like you say, you would think there had been some evolution, and not to be cynical and flip about it, there probably has been, but there are still plenty of people out there.
Yeah.
Parents, talk to your boys. Let's start there. All right. Let's do the promo.
I have to find that. Hang on. That's right there, I believe. Yep, there it is. Okay.
On Wednesday's Radio from Hell show.
Well, Todd will be here filling in for Gina. So let's hope he brings his Things That Must Go.
Because at 6:45 and 8:45, Things That Must Go is happening. So if you have any things that must go, send it to radiofromhell@x96.com.
And then Corey will be here at 9 to tell us what's on the community and concert calendar.
And there will be more on Wednesday's Radio from Hell show, X96.
More.
All right. We good? I think
sorry, Allison Krogan.
Yeah.
Sorry you have to put up with that. But if you weren't just flaunting it all the time on TV,
right,
doing the weather and stuff.
Watch for the next week. She's going to just wear blue.
Yeah, she should.
She should.
Just to spite the guy.
Yep.
I'm assuming it's a guy. I'm guessing. Well, I'm pretty sure it's a guy.
More than likely.
The way that thing read, it was a guy.
It would have to be.
All right. Maybe we ought to. Well, she's on the air at the same time we are, so getting her on the phone might be a problem. Let's see. Are we good? We gotten all the business taken care of?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
We have. Oh, let me just get rid of this and this. I think we're ready. Thank you, Sarge, for
Yeah,
coming in.
thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Sergeant Perez on the weekends. You'll hear him.
Nicholas Perez.
Yep.
Mike
On the radio,
Seaver.
I go by Sergeant Perez.
Sergeant Perez.
Yeah, because we can't have two Nicks.
And you'll. Well, that's true. And you'll
Yeah.
see him out and about at our various events.
Yep.
Look for him. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Just another day in paradise.
There you go. Corey is now.